There's Fat Rat Brown.
Yeah, Fat Rat Brown.
And then they also have a defensive lineman, Roseby Purgatory Lubentus.
Wow.
You want to
that's a Key and Peele joint, though. That's just crazy.
I've never heard of a purgatory nickname.
Purgatory.
Because it's like,
Was he like a 2.5 star?
yeah, I don't know. Like you want to have somebody in hell,
Yeah.
not purgatory.
Welcome back to Macrodosing. It is Thursday. It is December 4th. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. It's college football season. It's in full swing. We got tailgates, cheering crowds, the excitement of being in the stands before kickoff. That's all going down right now. We got championship weekend coming up this week. A lot of good matchups, a lot of tasty matchups in college football. We'll see how those games shake out, how that impacts the college football playoff bracket. Going to be very fun games. I'm thinking Big Ten championship, SEC championship, maybe the Big 12 championship might be the most meaningful game. ACC championship, crazy stuff going on there. Big T, do we have a game pulled up?
Yeah, I had the Big 12 championship, but then you said ACC, and so I'm going to go to the ACC championship game because I think that's the one with the things could go most off the rails.
Yeah, in Charlotte.
$45 I can get you in on Game Time.
Great deal.
Actually, nope, that's wrong. They were hiding the 40 from me. There's one for 40.
$40. $40 to get in. Go Duke. Go Blue Devils. The Brotherhood. Everybody's rooting for Duke in the ACC championship game. If you're looking at those tickets, you'll get a great deal on Game Time. You know that the tickets will be 100% authentic. They'll be on time. They'll be the best price. You can take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, use code MACRO, $20 off that first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code MACRO, $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. All right, we're back. It is Thursday. It is December 4th, and I'm excited to talk to you guys about your thoughts for the future of this country. I think we're going to solve a lot of problems today. We always do.
Here.
Also, special shout out. The Spotify Wrap just came out this morning. So been seeing a lot of people that are tweeting and tagging us on Instagram in their Spotify Wrapped. Really appreciate that. Always cool to see the different countries too that people listen to us in. That's always pretty wild.
Madeline, do you have the one, you have like the, where you can see info on the people who listen, right?
I will get that. I don't have it sent to me yet.
Okay.
It's been pretty.
It comes from our higher ups.
It's been pretty cool to see just how many people listen to us. That's a lot of minutes that people spend with us. So
I saw one that was 100,000.
Yeah.
100,000. Yeah, I said that's 50,000 minutes of brace. But we appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you very much for listening to us, and looking forward to spending another great year with you.
That's love, yeah. So it's always good to see when people fuck with you, man. It's good stuff.
Yep. We got a lot to get into today before we solve every problem in the world. But I think we kind of have to start with some of the college football stuff that's been going on, Big T.
I always love to talk college football with you.
I've been purposely trying to not talk college football with Big T since we've been in the studio because I want to hear everything that he has to say about it. Obviously, the shakeout, the fallout from the Lane Kiffin stuff. He seems tan in Louisiana. Did you notice that?
No.
He seemed tanner at his press conference.
I didn't notice.
Okay. But there's been some other stuff, namely Penn State. Penn State just might not have a coach.
So shortly after we stopped recording on Monday is when the Crumble Cookie CEO put out a tweet that he was ready to do whatever it took to retain Kalani Sitake at BYU.
Time to get off the sidelines.
I did not know Crumble Cookie was a Provo, Utah venture.
Oh, big time.
But it kind of makes sense.
It does.
They don't drink or anything, so they just go massive into sugar.
Yep.
Because they have the soda things and all that.
Yeah.
And BYU did end up retaining Kalani Sitake, who also apparently was meeting with like the top officials of the Mormon Church. Like,
there's some weird stuff. I don't fully understand it, but if you want to give a lot of money, it might have to be sanctioned by the church.
I think they went to the church for, the Mormon Church has like hundreds of billions of dollars in assets.
Yeah.
I also did not know it is a requirement that BYU's football coach be a Mormon.
I did not know that either.
Yeah, I learned that
really?
through this saga. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
So they're obviously, when they have a coach that they would like to retain, it's even more imperative for them because their pool to pick from is so limited.
So the
Yeah.
Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has a net worth estimated at about $293 billion. $206 billion is in an investment portfolio. It gets an estimated annual income of $31 billion.
Hell yeah.
From sources such as tithing. So business leaders, just businessmen and businesses just give a bunch of money. Good for the Mormon Church. I didn't know that they had it like that.
And BYU is the perfect embodiment of, I guess, Vanderbilt football now as well, of like, once NIL became a thing, people were like, well, if Harvard wanted to, they could be the best basketball program in the country.
Right.
Like Vandy has committed significant money to football, which is obviously paying off. BYU has they got the Crumble guy.
Mhm.
They got the guy who owns the Jazz. I don't know how he made his money, but so now they're getting the top basketball recruit in the country.
Yep.
They're paying their football coach significant money.
They've got a nutrition guy too, a young nutrition guy that's very involved. He helped get the basketball team all their NIL money. And now he's wading his way into football too. So yeah, BYU is a power player now when it comes to money in college football.
It seems that pretty soon there will be advertisements on college football uniforms, of which I am not a fan, but the BYU Crumble cookie patch could be pretty fun.
That will be excellent. Yeah, it's been crazy seeing the business leaders come together and now they're having pissing contests over a coach, and Penn State lost out on him. Goes back to BYU. BYU is very happy. I think he's a great coach. So he's making a lot of money. Good for him. And then Penn State just has an interim coach kind of, and they don't really have. I think they were going at Brian Hartline, but he went to USF.
They are, I believe I saw today is National Signing Day. They do not have a head coach, and I believe they're outside the top 100.
They are.
In the
last I saw,
rankings.
Harvard was beating them.
Really? Yeah, I mean, I think they only had two guys who remained committed. I'm looking. 100 is Western Michigan, Lode Moore, Wyoming, Utah State, Rice, Idaho. I'm still not seeing them. Yeah, they're way down here.
Not a great day for Penn State.
150 behind schools such as McNeese, West Georgia, and Towson.
So this is going to set them back.
Oh, yeah.
Like big time.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to feel the ramifications of this for the next, 3 years?
Yeah.
And then we had the college football playoff drop their bracket last night. I want to know your take on it, because my take was that I think that Miami has a very real chance of making it.
I hope so, because I placed a wager on them to make the college football playoff at plus 650.
Did you do that yesterday?
Yeah.
I did too. So you thought the same thing I did.
I just don't see how, if it comes down to Notre Dame and Miami, that they played each other.
They did.
Now, there is precedent for this. A few years ago, Tennessee and Alabama finished 5-6 back when the playoff was 4 teams. Tennessee had beaten Alabama, and Alabama was 5, and Tennessee was 6. But I just don't see how you have 2 teams that are right next to each other.
Yeah.
And they I do agree with the premise. If Notre Dame is head and shoulders better, like if their records weren't the same or anything,
yeah,
they have the same record against similar competition. Miami's schedule's probably harder, and Miami beat them. I just don't see how you put Notre Dame in. Now, there is a scenario where it doesn't come down to the 2 of them, in which case you're just shit out of luck. But if it's down to those 2 schools for one spot, it has to be Miami.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think that the way that it would shake out, if BYU loses to Texas Tech, then Miami and Notre Dame are going to be ranked right next to each other because they don't play.
Should, yeah.
They should be one right after the other. And it feels like Hunter Yurachek, the guy that runs the college football playoff.
Clown, but.
Absolute clown.
Yeah.
He did say that, yeah, I think head-to-head's important especially if the 2 teams are ranked right next to each other.
And then right behind them, 9-3 Texas was ahead of 10-2 Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Presumably because Texas beat them.
Right.
And they have a worse record.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, these people are clowns. And it's a sham organization. The whole thing's a joke.
They put JMU at 25, which I was happy to see that, because even if UNT had remained unranked, I thought that if UNT beats Tulane in the American, they would then have UNT leapfrog, and they would be the group of 5 that got in. But I like the fact that they ranked JMU, because that tells me that if Duke beats UVA, I don't think that there's a world that they would rank Duke, right? With 5 losses.
You can't put Duke in over 12-1, James Madison.
You can't.
Duke stinks.
You absolutely cannot do that. So I remain hopeful that maybe Duke can pull it out this weekend. And then
also, by the way, another thing to take into consideration, if Duke wins and they're like, well, we're not putting in the ACC champion, Miami is the only ACC representative that could make it.
right.
At which point, are they really going to leave out a power conference in favor of 2 group of 5 teams? Well, the 2 group of 5
They
teams
would
would
get
get
in
in
because
anyway.
they're conference
Correct.
champions,
I'm
yeah.
just saying, you put in 2 group of 5 schools and nobody from the ACC, that's not going to make one of your power players, to whatever extent the ACC
Yeah.
is one, very happy.
And then Notre Dame, they're going to complain because they don't have a conference that they can win. Actually, I think
Which is their fault.
the take of the day yesterday might have belonged to RG3, as it usually does on any given day. He said that BYU is being left out because of anti-Christian bias.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
But he also was saying that they should be in over Notre Dame. So you try to figure that one out.
Mm.
I can't. That doesn't. The lines aren't crossing in my head.
Also, SMU got the last spot last year.
Yeah.
I think they're very, very loosely. Like, I don't think it's like a huge deal there, but they are Southern Methodist University.
They are. That's true.
TCU's been in it.
They have.
Any others?
Trying to think
Notre
of-
Dame, obviously.
Notre Dame, yeah. I don't think that there've been any. I don't think so. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun weekend of college football. Now, if BYU wins, Big T, if they beat Texas Tech, and then let's say Duke beats UVA,
Okay.
how do you see that shaking out?
I'd have to count up the spots. So then you have, hang on, let me look at because then BYU and Texas Tech are both in.
No chance they drop Texas Tech out, right?
0. Okay, so that would be Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia, Texas Tech, Oregon, Ole Miss, A&M, Oklahoma. Alabama is 9. BYU is 10.
Mm-hmm.
And the G5 team is 11. So
Yeah.
now you're left with Notre Dame, Miami, Vandy, and JMU for one spot.
Yeah, but it would have to be.
And it would have to go to Miami.
But it would no. It would. You have to have the 5 highest ranked conference champions.
Correct, which would be
Which-
SEC,
Yep.
BYU,
BYU,
Big Ten.
Tulane, or UNT.
Oh, so
and then
then
James
there-
Madison. So it doesn't
you're
matter.
Correct. So then there wouldn't even be another at-large spot left.
Yeah, they would take one of the at-large spots away. That's all that would do.
So that could kick Notre Dame and Miami out.
That could make them both very unhappy. Yeah.
Yeah, this listen, all this could be solved if we were just a rational viewing public and we didn't need to make this like, oh, let 12 teams, 24 teams. Go back to the way everything was in 2011. There was nothing wrong with it. All the conferences were correct. The BCS was fine. I know people don't want to hear that. It was fine. And you could have a great season and go to a great historically prominent bowl game.
Mhm.
And if you won it, that was an awesome season. We don't need to be arguing over 9-3 teams getting into the playoff, or, with all due respect, James Madison and North Texas. That's great. Just give me the teams that can win the national championship.
Right.
And by the way, you're complete. For all I hear about how the games are more meaningful, 11-0 Texas A&M losing against Texas, completely meaningless. Big Ten championship game between two 12-0 teams, completely meaningless. SEC championship, same thing. Like, you are, in some instances giving greater meaning to some games that otherwise wouldn't have them, but you're taking away significant meaning from games that would be incredible otherwise.
Yeah.
So 2011, take me back. Get Missouri out of the SEC, get A&M out of the SEC, get Oregon out of the Big Ten. We don't need this. We don't have to live this way. I promise.
So I agree with Big T that it's kind of ridiculous that it could be JMU and North Texas or a Tulane in the college football playoff. We have 0% chance
to go get plastered by Oregon.
Well, I think the spread would be under 20.
I don't. Are there like hypothetical lines on that?
I'm
look
just
at Sagarin.
Look at Sagarin. Sagarin actually has JMU ranked pretty high, I think.
By the way, under 20 isn't exactly. So Oregon's at 94.8. Let's see where JMU is.
I want to say like 80 or 82.
80. So that would be like a 17-point edge for 3 for home field.
Yeah. I mean, crazier things have happened.
But it's just like
we would not be able to compete with Oregon. I'm
no.
not. We can beat a lot of. I think a lot. The top of the group of 5 can beat a lot of the bottom half of the Power 5 conferences.
But they do it routinely.
Yeah, but we're talking about the top of the top, the best of the best, and there's just no chance that teams that are constructed the way that JMU or UNT would be constructed would have a chance.
And to be clear, Oregon's an outstanding team. I think they have a chance to win the national championship. They didn't earn playing for the national title either. They got to play Indiana at home. They lost. Sorry, buddy, you're out.
Yeah.
Give me the 2 best teams.
When you've got like the Texas coaches like Sark and a lot of the ESPN media, that was ridiculous on Black Friday.
It's insane.
Just putting on a cape for Texas, being like, this team should be in the play. You lost 3 games.
They lost to 4-8 Florida.
And
handily.
I think maybe going to overtime against Kentucky's worse.
Probably, because Florida still has talent.
Yeah. You go to overtime against Kentucky. You go
and Mississippi State.
Overtime against Mississippi State. That was a great game, though.
Yeah, like it's for all they complain about losing to Ohio State, that isn't the game that cost you.
Yeah.
Lost to Florida.
Yeah, if you have 3 losses and you're complaining about not being in the playoff, you need to just chill out. You had your chance.
But this is what it's come to. And guess what? We're going to be arguing over 8-4 teams soon once we expand it again.
Yep. So
expand it. They talking about expanding the playoff.
They are going to, and they're going to keep doing it. As long as they print money.
Damn.
This Hunter Yurachek guy, he's all over the map.
Well, and he was thrust into the leadership position after the Baylor guy got ousted.
Yep. It's also ridiculous that he even goes on TV and he does media. Like, if I were him, I'd be like, no, I don't want to answer any questions. Because the way that, naturally, if you have a 12-team playoff, there are going to be some teams that have cases to make over the teams that are currently in, like the ones that are on the edge, on the outside looking in. You'll have some strong arguments. You're not going to be able to make everybody happy with all your explanations. You're just not. You're going to get tripped up. You're going to get caught in some conflicting thinking and conflicting rankings. But he insists on doing media and being like, yeah, I'll talk to you.
And they try to rationalize these things that they've clearly rigged to just make whatever decision they want. I'd respect him more if he was like, yeah, we're just going to do whatever we want.
Yeah, SEC.
It's not even that. It's just like, yeah, the whole thing's a sham. I'm not a fan. They want to make this like the NFL. Great. You're going to ruin the greatest sport we have, but it's fine.
All right. Well, elsewhere in the news, this is an interesting take that I saw. Hadn't really thought about it until I saw the clip. We talk about artificial intelligence a good bit on this podcast. Thought leader Joe Rogan was talking about AI as it pertains to religion the other day. Have you seen this clip, Arian?
I've not seen this clip.
I'll read you the quote. You can watch the clip too if you'd like. But Rogan was discussing artificial intelligence and religion, and he said, Jesus was born out of a virgin mother. What's more virgin than a computer? If Jesus does return, you don't think he could return as artificial intelligence? AI could absolutely return as Jesus.
If you were to have an amalgamation of all of Joe Rogan's thoughts, that is what you would compute out of it. That makes perfect sense.
That's his
Absolutely.
word. That's his word cloud. If you compress it enough,
Yeah.
if you made AI Joe Rogan and asked it to say a sentence, that's what it would come out with.
That is what would come out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think you're right about that. Listen. It's called AI, artificial intelligence. You think Jesus could be artificial? I'm not even like a big Jesus knower.
I want to meet the people, because they're out there, that heard that and was like, "Whoa, that's deep." I want to meet those people.
It's a
And just
much
have a
larger number than you would care to know.
I would agree, and I just want to have a conversation with them. Like, how's your day going?
I didn't see this.
He said, "What's more virgin than a computer?"
It's facts, virgin ain't never fucked nobody.
Computers have fucked people. We got AI. We got
fuck
AI.
people over.
We got AI sex bots.
That's the old philosophical, like, okay, if I take a piece of wood off of the boat, at what point does it become another boat?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, is it the computer? I don't know. Only Jesus AI can answer.
This is a wild thing for him to put out, though.
He had been toying with, I heard a clip from him a while back that he had said, where he was making fun of the Big Bang, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And he was saying, well, people think that's true. He said, I think Jesus being born of a virgin and coming back and being resurrected, that's probably more true than the Big Bang happening. So he's been flirting with he's been flirting with Jesus for a while now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's been to church a few times. He's talked about that.
But this is like not the opinion of like someone who's ingratiating themselves into Christianity.
No, this is the opinion of somebody that spends part-time going to church and then the other part of his time talking to people that develop AI.
Right.
And so he's trying to combine his new two of his brand new passions that he has.
He's introducing his ex to his new thing.
Yeah, and the new boo is like, Joe, we enjoy our relationship, but we're gonna have to set some ground rules here. And then he goes back and he meets with Peter Thiel. He meets with Elon, and they're like, "No, you keep pushing the AI thing, please." He's like, "Okay, all right, I'll talk to them. I'll talk to them about it." He's trying to. He might be. Joe Rogan is starting a new religion. That's what he's doing.
Jesus 3000. I love it.
Your own personal Jesus.
The top reply to that clip is, "This is going to sound batshit crazy." Spoiler alert, it does. So take it with a grain of salt, but it makes sense if you ever watched Raised by Wolves, an HBO Max original since removed from Max. What if we've been misinterpreting religious texts the entire time, and it's actually a warning not to create AI? Just a theory, but a fun rabbit hole to go down. Highly recommend the show.
What is it called?
Raised by Wolves, an HBO Max original.
So they're saying that religion is an allegory for AI?
No, he's saying, what if we've been misinterpreting religious texts the entire time, and it's actually a warning not to create AI? I don't...
Okay. I'll have to watch the show Raised by Wolves.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with
Jesus,
the program either.
So he's saying Jesus... Is he saying the creation of religion or religion in general?
I don't know.
Okay, so either way, he's saying Jesus or the creation of Jesus was an invention or a warning sign for us not to create AI.
Raised by Wolves centers on two androids, father and mother, tasked with raising human children on Kepler 22b, I guess that's a planet, after the Earth is destroyed by a great war. As religious differences threaten to tear apart the burgeoning colony of humans, the androids learn that controlling the beliefs of humans is a treacherous and difficult task.
That's true. Shout out to the androids for recognizing that.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, Joe. I like what you're doing. I love it.
I mean, it does feel like we might be going that direction.
That Jesus is gonna,
not Jesus, but the people that are making AI are going to try to make AI that's addictive, that makes you feel good, that shows love to the user or makes the user feel what they interpret as love, and then they rely on AI for spiritual guidance, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I could, yeah. Because I'm definitely getting one of those bots once it becomes operable. I am. I'm sorry.
And that would be, but everybody would have a different AI Jesus, one that was tailored to their unique needs. So we'd all be
Yeah.
receiving guidance from
I would
different
argue.
versions. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I would argue that everybody already does have their own unique Jesus.
There's a lot of different interpretations, but this would
Yeah.
be like, specific in religion, you've at least got the source text, right?
But I mean, you have thousands of different sects from that source text. So I would argue AI Jesus might be a little bit more valuable. Hear me out, because you have the original source text that the AI Jesus can give you, but then you have a wealth of information that it could research and dig up and bring up. So it's kind of better. It's an upgrade.
And then
Maybe this is an upgrade.
And then if you truly believe and follow your own AI Jesus, you will achieve eternal life, because the artificial intelligence will then upload your consciousness to the cloud.
Into the cloud.
And if you do not believe,
that's heaven.
They will not upload your consciousness after you die.
Loving this.
I don't know if y'all are hearing yourselves. You started out laughing at this.
Mm.
Now it seems like you're kind of
Rooting for it.
in it.
Absolutely.
No, I'm saying that's going to happen. I'm not rooting for it, but there are people that Joe definitely talks to on maybe a weekly basis that are in charge of developing these AI systems designed to get you addicted to them, and they look at their own AI that they're building as like the key to change the entire world. And they will try to do something like this.
probably.
Unless we stop them.
I'm getting me a robot. I don't care.
Yeah, so tell me about your robot.
What do you want to know about him?
Yeah, what kind of robot?
The little
Neo,
I want an
right?
autonomous, like, you know what I mean? It might kill me, but like I'm very interested in getting a robot.
I think it might kill you, unfortunately.
Are you going
Yeah.
to allow your robot to like be in the bathroom with you?
Yeah,
You're taking a poop, you're out of toilet
Like-
paper,
go get it for me. Absolutely.
you're taking a shower, you step out, he's got the towel for you.
Yeah.
Is that going to be weird?
No, it's an inanimate object.
Yeah, but it's got cameras and stuff.
I mean, what's it gonna do with my naked pictures?
I don't know.
I don't care. Like, it's not gonna like, if my naked pictures leak online, like I don't care.
Here's Arian Foster taking a shit.
If you
click
want to
for
watch
more.
me boo boo, that's on you, dog.
TMZ.
It's not gonna change my life one bit.
Are you going to allow your dog into the bathroom while you're pooping?
Nah, get your ass out, man.
Dog's not allowed to see you naked.
That's weird.
Yeah,
That's a thing. That's a being.
yeah. I mean,
He's got a soul.
Blake has seen me naked many times. It feels a little bit weird.
Flip that.
Well, yes, people's dogs are in the room with him when they change. He wanders in the bathroom. He likes.
How often does your dog see you naked?
I'd say probably 2 to 3 times a week.
That's interesting.
If I'm changing and he's out of his crate and he's just hanging out, if I'm taking a shower, he likes to go in the bathroom and just kind of sit outside the shower.
I mean, that's probably a feel good thing because of the steam.
It might be a feel good thing.
I almost did the most white girl thing ever. So I went to PetSmart yesterday. I got a whole bunch of food,
Mhm.
some toys. I saw a little fucking Santa Claus outfit. I almost got it.
Aw.
I almost got him a little Santa Claus fit.
He'd be a good elf at that size.
That's true. Hierarchy. I'm Santa. He got to know.
Yeah. So, any updates on dog life?
Yeah. So he is right now at a boarding place, puppy training.
Okay.
So we took him to a puppy training place. They're gonna teach him like the basics. He's not old enough yet for like real training, where it's like, because I told the lady, I was like, eventually I want to be able to him to be off leash and walk with me on a golf course.
Yep.
And she's like, I think that's amazing. I think that's excellent. She's like, he's not there yet. He's like, but we have this program for puppies that teaches them basic, like, stop shitting and pissing in the house, kennel training, so he's not crying in the kennel all the time. All that kind of stuff. Socializing with dogs, because he's kind of timid around other dogs right now.
Mm-hmm.
and other people, and so it's like socializing them for that. So, yeah, we see him every day, and it's gonna be good. It's good.
Excellent. I'm excited for you.
Me too. I'll turn over a new paw. Bless you. God bless you.
Thank you. How did the internet react to you having a dog? What was the feedback that you got?
Overwhelming love and support from dog people. There's like a few dipshits that say stupid shit, but that's life, man. You just acknowledge their miserableness and you move on.
I think that should tell you something, by the way, that the dog community was very welcoming to you.
They don't like their dogs. I don't.
But it's a
good people.
happier group
Yeah,
of people.
good people.
As opposed to
The miserable losers that you said were talking shit.
they had dogs too.
Do we know that?
Yeah, one of them was like, "You're gonna give up that dog in a week." He's like, "Yeah, it's about keeping it for a lifetime. It's not just a couple weeks." Ass hat. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, first of all, hilarious clap right there. Ass hat is funny as shit. But I couldn't imagine being that upset and then taking that to my social media page.
That's a big time
Yeah.
white guy degradation.
Yeah. I would say that was real big in like the late 2000s.
Yeah.
You hit somebody with an ass hat online, you're not coming back from it. Ass hat is, that guy hasn't been online for too long. That's what that tells me. That's a young kid. He just learned ass hat.
Ass hat. You fucking ass hat.
Yeah.
What the fuck does that even mean? Like ass hat.
Maybe it's like your head is up your ass, so you're wearing it as a hat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see it.
I've never actually considered that, but I think that's what it has to be.
I think you're right.
You just cracked that case.
Yeah.
I like it.
Because if the hat looked like an ass and you're just walking around wearing an ass shaped hat, that's silly too. But it's sillier.
But that's like, I'm here to party.
Yeah, but it's sillier if your head's up your own ass.
For sure.
It's like you're an idiot. Okay, we got to the bottom of that. That was good.
I'm glad we did that.
Nice work. Big T, you sent over a couple things in the news today. There is a trend at colleges and universities of more and more students reporting as being disabled.
Yeah, so like 20 at Brown and Harvard, more than 20% of undergraduates are registered at disabled. At Stanford, it's nearly 40%.
Now,
Yeah,
does this include things like anxiety?
I believe this is mostly things like that. These are not like physical disabilities.
Okay.
These are like, IEP type
Yeah.
deals.
So I guess as mental health issues get diagnosed more and more, it gives legitimacy to a lot more disability claims. Like if somebody has bad anxiety, they can request like a solo dorm room.
I think this is like extra time on tests and things of that nature.
Okay. So yeah, if you're diagnosed like ADHD, then you can get extra like 50% time on a test. If you have anxiety, this seems like something that a lot of people might have tried back when I was going to school, especially like the anxiety thing, to try to get your own dorm. That was a big thing. Everybody wanted their own dorm. They didn't want to have a roommate. And so people would sometimes try to figure out a way they could do that. I feel like colleges said no back then. And now colleges are saying yes.
And now they feel like they can't.
They can't say no to it.
This, by the way, is from it's from a piece in the Atlantic, so this is not a conservative publication called the Accommodation Nation was the title.
And it sounds like the schools themselves are not, they don't really know how to handle it.
Yeah,
because they don't. If they tell too many people no, then they can be accused of discrimination. They want to have a productive learning environment in theory, but they're like, this is just getting a little too much.
You hear students with disabilities, and it's not kids in wheelchairs. One professor at a selective university who requested anonymity because he doesn't have tenure told me, quote, "It's just not. It's rich kids getting extra time on tests. Even as poor students with disabilities still struggle to get necessary provisions, elite universities have entered an age of accommodation. Instead of leveling the playing field, the system has put the entire idea of fairness at risk."
So when it comes to taking tests, not everybody takes tests the same way. I understand that. Some people are good at taking tests. Some people struggle with the formats, depending if it's multiple choice, if it's essay, if it's just focusing on a test for a long enough period of time. And you can know the material and not be as naturally prepared given your brain chemistry as other students. So I don't really have that much of an issue with, like, if you get more time on a test. I feel like that could be more fair. But when you get into the workplace, these accommodations aren't going to be there. Most people won't find bosses that are like, oh, you get, twice the time to complete an assignment. That's fine.
I think we've been hearing that for a long time, but I don't know that that's as true as it once was.
That what?
What you just said.
That they won't be accommodated.
I think this has seeped into corporate culture a lot as these people have grown up.
Well, I think
10 years ago, that was probably mostly true, and now I don't know that it is.
In corporate culture, though, you're not like giving tests. You don't. When you get a job, you don't like do homework and take tests.
Correct, but I
for
think
your
this
paycheck.
kind of thing is much more prevalent.
Like if you have to put together a PowerPoint, if you get a big marketing meeting and you're like, we need 6 new ideas that we have to come up with for this new client. I don't think that most bosses are like, you know what, we'll give you extra time. It's okay if you don't have your PowerPoint ready when we do the meeting. You can just show us next week. I feel like the deadline's a deadline. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been in a real office environment in a very long time.
Other accommodations risk putting the needs of one student over the experience of their peers. One administrator told me that a student at a public college in California had permission to bring their mother to class. This became a problem. This became a problem because the mother turned out to be an enthusiastic class participant.
Remember, there was a thing that came out not too long ago about Gen Z taking their parents on job interviews.
Yeah, I did see that.
But this just seems to fall in line with the recent...
Eli Manning did that too, coming out of college.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is in line with the Harvard thing where everybody's getting A's and now they're mad that they're not going to all get A's, and the UCSD thing.
Yeah.
Where half the freshmen can't do elementary school math.
Yeah. Arian, to your point about the mom that's going to class and becoming like too much of an active participant, I'm beginning to see maybe where this child might be struggling with adapting to outside environments.
Clearly.
Like what parent is doing that?
The best thing for that kid would be to just not have his mom around him. Right?
So we call that helicopter parenting. And I deal with that, with some of my children's mothers. I'll say this. I'm probably a little bit more conservative in areas when it comes to parenting than you would think. Like, I do believe in like emotional intelligence in kids and having them understand their feelings, having them understand and express their feelings. But I believe in struggle. I believe that shit builds character. I believe you got to get out there. You got to fall flat on your face. And then I'm here as a parent to help guide you and pick you back up. But you got to feel this world. You have to. And a lot of people parent in a way that's like they struggle so much. So they feel like that their kids shouldn't have to struggle through anything. But they forget that struggle is part of the reason why you're resilient, because you went through that shit. So I let my kids fail. Like, you have to let them fail. Like I saw that with coaching. Like when I was coaching, like a lot of kids' parents, they don't like give into the process. They want to guide rail their kids into where they feel like, no, well, it happens. We'll figure it out afterwards. But you got to fall on your face. You got to fail, especially at that age. You got to let these little motherfuckers fail. And I do believe a lot of it comes from like when we was growing up, we struggled so much that we don't want to put our kids through anything. Fuck that. Let them fail.
Oh, speaking of coaching, we never got what happened in the championship game.
Oh, man.
I was worried this was the answer, given that we hadn't heard.
I mean, I forgot to just mention, I think I missed the...
Yeah, that may have been why.
I had a long talk with my guys after that. after the game, and I don't ever mind losing, especially as a coach, right? Losing is part of life. That's what I was taught as a young kid. Is football is a mirror about life. You have a goal that you're trying to get to, and there are obstacles along the way. There's things trying to stop you, and you have people helping you along the way getting there. That's why I grew up loving ball. So I don't mind losing. Shit happens. You take a loss, you dust it off, we pick it back up. It's always next year or whatever the case may be. I cannot stand though when people lay down and don't fight. And I told my kids, I said, listen, like I don't mind that we lost. That's life. This is a championship game. I want to win, of course. But like that's life. But I don't know what it was. I think it was the prestige of the other team. That team hadn't lost a game in 4 years. And that team we lost to 6-7 in the regular season. 6-7. Yeah. And so we came in a little bit more confident, but they laid down. They just laid down. They stopped fighting. It was like there was nothing I could call. There was nothing we could do on defense. The kids just were it was like they were scared of the moment. And I was like, I called a timeout. At one point, I was like, dog, I will fight with you. I will go in this crowd because the crowd's talking shit. They can hear the opposing the opposing parents was talking shit. I got into it with a couple of them. And I was like, I'll fight with you. I'll fight this whole damn crowd with you. I said, but I need y'all to fight with me. I said, I can't be out here fight. I can't play this game for y'all. And my boys just laid down. And so after the game, I was just telling them, listen, man, like in life is gonna throw you challenges like it just happened. I said, I need you to respond better than you did tonight. If whatever you do, if it's your career, if it's a job, if it's your relationship, y'all have to fight when life hits you in the mouth because y'all did not fight tonight. And I'll be lying if I say I wasn't disappointed as a coach. Like it was not good. Like and that as a coach it was disappointing. And so, but it happens. It is what it is. I wish them boys well. I'm gonna follow a few of their careers because a few of them gonna be D1 athletes for sure.
Are you
But
coaching
we
next
lost.
year?
Absolutely not.
That was it.
That was it. It was a one and done, man. Made it to the championship. Never,
You got to
I don't
win
know about never
one.
again. Huh?
You got to win one.
Big T, it is such a commitment. And I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I was late night crafting plays, watching film, breaking down this, doing a lot of that shit, right? It's such a commitment. And if there's one thing I can't do, and I'm not good at, is when people talk shit to me, I have to talk shit back. It's just, I don't know what it is. Like, I just got to say something back. So we in the championship game, and these motherfuckers is yapping in the crowd, and I start talking shit back, right? Parents on our team, they start talking shit. I'm talking shit back. So I can't stand people who I know don't know football talk shit to me like they do, and they know what they talk about. I can't do that. It bothers me. And so it's like, I need to not be in that. Don't put myself in those situations where I'm arguing with somebody who probably didn't even start on their high school team about what play to run. I'm not going to do that.
Do I have
can't do
permission to
that.
maybe impart some wisdom to you that has helped me tremendously?
Absolutely, brother.
Don't take criticism from people you wouldn't take advice from.
I'm gonna get that shit tatted on my neck, Big T. I love that shit. Yeah, you right.
That's real.
And
yeah,
but I told you, I'm not good at it. If you pop shit, and it's not even like a insecurity thing. It's just like I grew up talking shit, and I can't let you get one by me. You know what I'm saying? Like if you talk shit, you gonna get it right back.
Were they talking shit to you or talking shit to the players?
Both. And that's why I was tough, and the kids can hear this shit. So I was like, dog, I'll fight with you. I'll handle all that shit. But you got to fight with me. But yeah, they talking shit. They're like whack ass coach, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, bro, you better ask somebody who you talking to, motherfucker. Like, who you talking to? Heck, shut the fuck up.
Have you done a self review of your play calling during the game?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's part of So I watched film. So when I watch film, how you watch film is like, so if the film is 30 minutes, right? So you have 30 minutes of game film, right? It probably takes me an hour and 30 minutes to watch that film. Right, because you rewind it. Okay, what is he doing this? What is he doing this? Like, what is he doing this? So like when I was watching film when we played them the first time, I was looking at how I was calling the plays, and the growth that I had from that game to the end of the season was immense. Right, just as a play caller, a lot of my issues was I'm calling the game like a pro. I have a pro style offense, so I'm calling the game like a pro style offense, and the kids on defense aren't disciplined enough to be they're not good enough yet, technically, to be in the places where I would expect them to be, so that the plays that I call work. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So a lot of times they're in position because they're out of position.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so as the season grew, I started to realize that more and more, that this is not about X's and O's like it is in the pros. It's more about the cats. Get your playmakers the ball in space.
That makes
Which
sense.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm like there isn't shit a human being can tell me that I ain't said to myself critically. Like I'm hard on myself. That's why I'm such a lighthearted dude, because I'm hard on myself.
If you had to criticize your play calling, tell me about the game flow. Was it close at halftime?
In the championship?
Yeah.
I think the issue was we could not. We had no time to do anything. Like anytime like your line struggles, the book says move the pocket, right?
Mm-hmm.
But our line was struggling so bad that moving the pocket wasn't even an option. We were just getting beat up. Like it was just hard-nosed football. The other team ran like 3 plays the whole game.
Okay.
Off tackle right, off tackle. They did no trickery. And they had a little boy. This boy gonna be cold. I don't even know his name. I need to get his name because I'm gonna watch. He definitely going D1. But he was a little number 7 running back. Hard. They just fed him the ball,
Mm-hmm.
and it was old school in your mouth football. Like we at halftime, and I didn't have no speech. I went up to my guys and I said, guys, I wish I could make adjustments and have a speech for. I was like, but I don't have any. They ran 3 plays. They busting you in the mouth. I said, this is about heart. I said, y'all just got to show up. They're not doing anything we said they're not going to do. They are just busting you in the mouth. They're not doing no magic. They hitting you. Hit them back. That's it. So I think from that standpoint, as coaches, I hate to be like, there's not much you can do in that situation, because there just isn't. They just got manhandled. And I don't think it was a talent issue because we played them before.
Mm-hmm.
I think in that moment, they just shrunk in that moment. And that happens as athletes. You know what I mean? Where you don't bring your best game. It just happened to be in a championship, but we just didn't show up. We had another game like that during the season where they just didn't show up, and we got whooped. And then we fought back from that, and it was weeks and weeks of preparation, of physicality. But it's all good, man. Life teaches you life lessons, and you gotta take them.
This is more college and pro than obviously youth, but do you agree with what Peyton Manning said, that there really is no such thing as halftime adjustments? He's like, I hear people talk about halftime adjustments all the time. All we did was go in, eat an orange, piss, and go back out.
Nah, I don't agree with that. I think maybe to him that makes sense because he adjusts at the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, if he sees a defense align in a certain way, and he watches so much film that like there's nothing that defense can do to really trick him, really. It's more about executing what he already knows. And so for us, there are adjustments. Okay, we prepped for this look. They're lining up in this look. Okay, and it's why I don't even think he believes that. It's why, like, when you go to the sidelines, you have the iPad. They're looking at what's going on the field. They're snap. Well, we had, like, when I first got to the league, it was pictures. And then is it pictures on the iPad? I don't remember. But now they got iPads
video now. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's legal to look at video or not. It could be. I don't know. But anyway, you're looking at the plays, and like I said, the reason why you don't get a lot of respect in the NFL if you do it one year is because you have game film from a player for an entire year that defensive coordinators didn't understand your tendencies, weaknesses, and they game plan for you. And so when they game plan for you, they're doing something where they're aligning in certain ways that they're trying to contain you. And so when you can beat that, that's when you get, a lot of your peers respect. But in order to do that, you have to understand what the defense is trying to do to you. And a lot of that is adjusting it, especially like, halftime. Instead of this, we prep for this. Instead of this, we're going to do this, or we're going back to the old way. Yada, yada. Yeah, absolutely. This halftime. I'm unsure what he's referring to, but I think it's just because he's his prowess is so big and his knowledge of the game is so big that there's not much that he hasn't seen. And so when he's at the line, he's probably just like, okay, they're they're running cover 6 instead of cover 4, like, or they're disguising it's probably just like nothing surprises him. So he's like, okay.
By the way, it is just pictures. I thought for sure it was. So they're only looking at still images on those?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that would be a huge competitive advantage if you could watch film during the game. It's just pictures. So when I was in the league, there's a little tent that printed out still shots of, because alignment is everything. When you craft in plays, it's all about angles. You're trying to get the best angle to run plays. Like if you're pulling guards, if you run a zone, or whatever, you're trying to get the best angle and leverage on your opponent. And so when you're taking the still shots, that's why this is like the nuances of the game, the niche, getting down to the nitty gritty. When you start talking about 0 technique, 1 technique, 3 technique, 4-eye, 6, when you start talking about like the techniques that the defensive linemen are playing, like those are huge, like a 4-3 over, 4-3 under, those kind of things. Like those kind of things matter during play calling. Like pulling into a 3 technique is not ideal, yada yada yada. Like all these different things, these little rules that you have, that are like the intricacies of the game. Like all those, you can snapshot that and look at the back of it. Like football is meant to be watched. If you can ever watch a game, watch it with the Skycast. Skycast watches the game from the back. That's how football is meant to be watched. Because when you look at it from the side, everybody looks amazing. When you look at it from the back, you can see mistakes. You can see the game better. You can see the safeties, which is what all quarterbacks look at. When they break the huddle, they look at what the safeties are doing. Every single quarterback. The safeties tell you what the defense is doing. So Skycast, if you could look at a game, if you want to look at it from a player's perspective, Skycast is the best way to watch a game.
But why, if you've got a coach that can notice something on film like immediately after it happens, why shouldn't you be able to do that?
It's a competitive advantage.
But I mean both teams can do it. I
don't know the why. I just remember them saying you can't watch video during the game. I never really dug into why. I don't know. That would be an NFL.
Yeah, it just seems like if both teams can do it, you've already watched the play live, like you saw it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a huge issue with it if both teams can do it, just like logistically. It's just I know that it's a rule. I'm not for nor against it. I just know that it's a rule.
I have a question for you about safeties in general in football, Arian, because I'm looking at some mock drafts right now. It feels like the Commanders' season is over, and I'm starting to learn about who I should be targeting. There is one player that I've absolutely loved watching in college football for the last 3 seasons, and he plays safety, Caleb Downs. And
who's he play for?
He plays for the Ohio State University. He played at Alabama. Then he transferred. He is a monster of a safety. He is athletic as fuck, great tackler, super fast, very smart. I don't want to say Sean Taylor because Sean Taylor was different, and he's probably my favorite player of all time. But I remember when the Redskins got Sean Taylor and the difference that he made from the safety position. But I also know that a safety is like a very nice piece to have if you have a good defense already and if you've got a good team. But one safety becoming a game changer on their own is kind of I don't know, you can waste a pick. Not waste, but if you use a top 10 pick on a safety, it might not be as impactful as if you use a top 10 pick on like an elite cornerback or an elite pass rusher on defense. So I'm curious to know what you think about like the impact that a truly great safety could have on an otherwise mediocre to maybe slightly below mediocre defense.
It depends on what kind. No, I would argue that if you have an elite safety, then because the safety is like the quarterback of your defensive backfield. It's why like Belichick reveres Ed Reed so much, right? Because when you have a safety, and there's not many, I think Ed Reed's the best safety of all time, but when you have a safety that can fuck with your quarterback like that, and he was fucking with Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, like he's like the juggernauts of the game, like he's fucking with these people. He's just elite. I feel like that it's more than a cherry on top. It takes your defense from like good to great. Like I feel like a pass rusher. I'm kind of probably alone on this. I think a pass rusher is necessary, but I would argue a great safety is better than a great pass rusher. I feel like if you're stout in the run and okay pass rusher, I think you're fine. I look at Myles Garrett, for example. I mean, maybe having the best season a DN has ever had in this league, and they suck. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's great to have that. Don't get me wrong, but like I think because it's a passing league and it's and this is all opinion. We're leaving. This is all opinion. It's all Arian's opinion, but I think that I think it's just better to have. I would rather have an Ed Reed than a Michael Strahan or Aaron Donald. I would rather have, and I feel like you could build around it more.
Okay. Because I think I want this guy.
Me.
What you're doing is you're talking me into him.
Yeah, I talk you into it.
Yeah.
We're taking him. Yeah, I mean, I think safeties they're one of my favorite. I probably should have played safety. I had an opportunity, but Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, like those kind of guys I mean, think about it. They're on the best defense of all time.
I think your career turned out pretty good at running back. I think you probably made the right choice.
I don't know, man. I think I could have been a dog at safety.
I'll say this. I think that safety is the funnest position to play in snow football.
Yeah. And I told you the story about Troy Polamalu, right? And how he just did whatever the fuck he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That shit, when you have somebody like that, it's change your defense.
Guys,
change the identity of your defense.
If we just want to do a full football show, Legend Bay just flipped from Ohio State to Tennessee. It's a big hit. Legend Bay, who is on my we should do this every year. I do the all name team for signing day.
There's a good one at Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech has two. So one of them was Legend Bay, who just flipped from Ohio State to Tennessee. Savion Hyder, the number one running back going to Michigan. It's Hiter. And for those who haven't looked at his name, it's just every time you look at it, you see the H man. It's and by the way, their first game was supposed to be in Germany, and now they're playing it on campus. They got rid of that.
You remember when Dante Whitner changed his name to Dante Hittner?
No.
That was pretty crazy.
Did he really?
Yes, he changed his name to Hittner. I wonder if he kept that.
Is that legit? Did he really?
Yeah. Like Chad Johnson changed his name to Ocho Cinco.
A few others. There's two at Virginia Tech. I'm curious which one you were talking about. There's Fat Rat Brown.
Yeah, Fat Rat Brown.
And then they also have a defensive lineman, Roseby Purgatory Lubentus.
Wow.
You want to
that's a Key and Peele joint, though. That's just crazy.
I've never heard of a purgatory nickname.
Purgatory.
Because it's like,
what is he, like a 2.5 star?
Yeah, I don't know. Like you want to have somebody in hell.
Yeah.
Not purgatory. And then Tennessee also got another guy, Nick Quavion Simmons, aka Nuke. And then I
kind of like that, Nick Quavion.
Yeah, and
definitely a brother.
And then there is a Jet Goldsberry going to Purdue. I usually have a few others. I haven't seen too many today. What's
my man Mobility up to these days?
Mobility.
Let's see.
He was my favorite. He was at UN.
There was another. Who was that white dude?
Oh,
he's at Rice.
Noah.
He was
Kuniga.
Yeah.
He's at Eastern Michigan, I believe.
Oh, he was selling merch and shit. That's crazy.
Mobility.
So hold on, Go ahead.
Mobility is at Rice. He is a redshirt junior.
Where are his brothers? He had some fun named brothers too, I think.
And this year it doesn't look like he played a ton. Had 2 tackles against Prairie View on September 13th.
I like to take credit for finding Mobility because I was doing my all-name team at the Barstool Bowl, and I found myself just going through every roster of every college, and he was...
That's kind of insane, though.
He was a redshirt freshman at UNT. No stats whatsoever, had not played in a game, and it just buried down the list. And then I was like, you got to be kidding me. This guy's name is Mobility? It's a great name.
Do you know about All Right and Always Right?
Yep.
The basketball brothers?
Yep.
Although that's kind of cheating because their names are like Alejandro and something, I think.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Oh man,
Mad Dog.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
This Legend Bay guy.
Yeah.
What you saying? He committed to Tennessee?
He was committed to Ohio State, and then out of nowhere it's not out of nowhere. He'd been committed to Tennessee months ago, but he signed with UT today. And Ohio State seems to have had no idea that was coming.
Big T, put together your all name list for Wake Up Barstool tomorrow.
It's going to be the list I just read you, but
you can maybe add.
We'll see if we have some more.
Yeah.
What does he play?
I think he's a quarterback in high school, but he's going to be a receiver or a safety.
Legend Bay.
He's from Forney, Texas.
Of course he is.
We'll get back to the show in a second. It's brought to you by Sport Clips. The holiday season's packed. There's football to watch, relatives to visit, presents that you need to buy at the last minute. Fortunately, Sport Clips Haircuts is the perfect holiday timeout. Just when you thought the MVP experience could not get any more relaxing, the Playmaker Scents are back. For a limited time, choose one of 3 all-new seasonal scents for your hot steam towel. Take your relaxation to the next level. You're still getting the massaging shampoo. You're still getting that sharp haircut. Just in time for the holiday photos, you're also getting the Playmaker Scents for the holidays. They're available until December 27th at participating locations. Only and where permitted by law. Sport Clips is a game changer. The scents that you can get, the Cold Mint Plunge. It's a burst of chilled mint mixed with cool winter air. It's like taking an ice plunge without ever having to get into the water. They've got the Tailgate Huddle. The warmth and embers and spice that smell like victory. Then you've got that's vanilla, spice, and the warmth of a campfire. Then you've got the Halftime Chill, which is a refreshing blast of crisp, clean confidence. It's relaxation bottled. It's like if Santa had a favorite cologne. Try one of the Holiday Playmaker scents, available until December 27th at participating locations only and where permitted by law. Sport Clips, it's a game changer.
Yes, PFT?
Yes, Mad Dog. Arian just brought up the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, did he now?
There's big news for the Browns today. Wanted to hear your
This-
comment on the prodigal son has returned.
Deshaun Watson is designated for practice.
The practice window's open now for Deshaun Watson.
I quote tweeted that saying in all caps, "Leave me alone."
Okay.
Not great.
Wait, are you talking to Deshaun or to us?
To Deshaun.
Okay.
To Deshaun. I need all the support I can get from you guys right now. Just like I need him to leave me alone.
Is he going to take a snap this year?
God, I hope not.
And what if he comes back and just balls?
Arian,
dog?
like, why would you say that?
It would be wild, dog.
Arian, I like, and that's funny because it's so far
Possible.
from reality. Because he's so bad for us. It's
The
like
crazy part is he was one of the better players in the NFL
Yeah.
when he left to Cleveland.
Yeah.
It was so good.
yeah,
It
and
was
I
crazy
think he's
good.
played 17 total snaps for the team that he is stealing $250 million.
But what if he just balled out?
I
Which
don't
I guess that was
care.
the problem with him to begin with.
That was the problem.
Balling out.
right? Ball out.
What?
Well, man, you can't be mad at him for changing his ways then.
But what if he was good? That would actually be the most
I
Cleveland
don't
Brown
care.
thing ever. Is if Deshaun Watson came back, everyone hates him, and he's just really good, and then you have to make a choice. Like,
I wouldn't
are
support him.
we going to do this?
Well, if it's this season, we're cooked either way. There's no coming back from where we are.
Yeah.
Currently, we're dead in the water at this point. If he, I don't know, like returning to practice, I don't know what that means in terms of his recovery timeline. Like if he could take snaps in an NFL game in 2 weeks or 2 months, I don't know what that means. So I'm not here to see like, is he going to play the rest of the season? If he comes back and balls out, which he won't because he is bad at the game of football at this point in his life and is a bad person, he would only end up hurting us and hurting our draft stock. Because we're not going to win our division, I don't think. by the grace of God, we will not win our division probably. And then he just hurts our draft stock and we get, let's say we go 6 and 11. What,
Yeah.
you get the 11th pick?
Probably like top 10.
Okay. Versus we're at, I believe, number 5 right now. Ethically tank. I have also another quarterback problem on my hands currently where Dylan Gabriel's fiance is causing a stir in her TikTok comments.
Oh no.
Deshaun is back of mind priorities right now. Dylan Gabriel's fiance is saying how everyone in the building wants Dylan to be playing and not Shador, and she has thoughts on him not playing. All this bullshit.
The woke mob got to the Browns.
I don't know if she's necessarily woke. I think she's.
No, I'm saying. So is she insinuating that Shador isn't playing over Gabriel for those reasons, for woke reasons?
Oh, I don't know. She said, I have thoughts that I will not share. I think she just thinks her fiance is better at football than Shador Sanders, which, again, ride for your man, be my guest. Don't put it on TikTok. And then literally reply to comments saying, everyone in the building wants Dylan to be playing, but you wouldn't know that because you're not an NFL player or a coach, right? We can't have that, my love. And again, Emily Mayfield was like this a tiny bit when Baker was our quarterback and he was struggling, and she would go on her Instagram story after every time we lost and like say that like people are so terrible to her and him, yada yada yada. I've dealt with similar situations before, haven't we all? I don't need you, Zoe Queen. I don't need you doing this.
You're doing more harm than good.
Dylan Gabriel is bad at being an NFL quarterback. It's pretty clear.
And that's okay.
I'm sure he's a great guy.
And he's like, if you look at the population of the world, he's an outstanding quarterback.
0.01% of quarterbacks in the entire world. Unfortunately, we need better to be a good football team. And I believe he did get in one snap on Sunday and had like an absolute hospital ball. So
1 for 1.
Right. Still.
But yes.
Big T, are your gears grinded right there?
No, it's fine. Although she did say it yesterday, too. It's 2 days in a row.
Sorry.
Or Monday.
Sorry. And so
she needs to understand that she's making
everything worse.
Her fiance?
Yes.
She's making her fiance's coworkers not like him.
Yeah. And there's been enough.
To be fair.
Oh, yeah.
Let me ride for her real quick.
Okay.
Which I'm not in the business of, but I had to deal with this like via my mother for a long time.
Really?
Yeah. So she watched her baby get slandered online for years, right? And she couldn't handle it, so she had to like get involved, right? So this was early. This was pre-internet days. My mother used to be on the Vols message boards back in the day, arguing with motherfuckers with one tooth about her baby, right? And like I always told her like you have like it's really hard. I couldn't imagine, right? Like if my babies, right? Like so if any of my kids end up doing something in the public eye where criticism is, a part of the job, I'm never looking at their name. I'm never watching sports, and I'm never going online because it will piss me off to no end. Strangers talking about my babies.
And I'm sure she feels the same way about her fiance.
Yeah. So this message is to her. Like, I understand her frustration for sure, because like that's it. You love this person and you have to, and especially if you to that degree, if he's in the NFL, the scrutiny's so high and your life is kind of wrapped up in his, I'm assuming, because he's the breadwinner. Like, I'm just assuming. That's gotta be tough because your life is kind of like, this is your life, right?
His success directly correlates to like your success in a way.
Yeah. Well, and yeah. Monetarily and emotionally, right? If he's high, if he's winning and he's doing it, that you guys are vibing. If he's low, you gotta have to navigate that ship with him, and it's tough. So the best thing to do is to just ignore all of that shit.
Nothing.
Don't get on it. Don't get on social media. Don't do none of that shit. And just be there for your person, whoever it is. It's a brother, it's a sister, it's a son. Just be there for your person in whatever way they need, because that shit ain't gonna help ever. You can't win. What my coach used to say, he said, they buy a barrel by the ink. You'll never win that battle.
Yeah.
Or they buy ink by the barrel. You're not gonna win it, but that's what it is.
And
you don't have enough. You don't have enough capital letters to win them arguments, I promise.
Right. And she also posted a TikTok, I think last weekend when we lost, and captioned it, "Browns lose again, what's new?" Conveniently when Shador Sanders was playing and not your husband, who also provided us with multiple losses.
Dang.
And someone commented like crazy caption to put like yada yada. And she was like, "LOL, if I don't laugh, we'll cry." And it's like, babe, your fiance, it's not like we were 8-0 and then Shador came in and now we've lost more games. We are bad. Whether or not your husband is playing, your husband is definitely not helping that case. Her fiance. So yeah, she's currently in hot water in Cleveland Browns fandom just through that. I think the best way to go about it is what Ann Michael May, Drake May's wife, is doing. Just bake on the internet.
Just bake.
Just bake a sourdough loaf.
Yep.
Put it on the internet.
Crazy
People-
sexist, Maddie.
Just bake.
No, not that
Imagine-
way.
imagine
No,
if-
sorry. Have a career. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, she can do laundry or.
No, sorry. That sounded so
Listen
bad.
here,
Offer
Or
her
be like
dinner, too, okay?
Yeah,
Business
be
and
like
get
Kristen
your ass
Juszczyk.
back in the kitchen.
She can. Oh,
No.
oh, so she can. Yeah, she can shop.
No, she can. No, Kristen
She
Juszczyk
can
is
sew.
a sew. No.
Listen,
like
woman,
Taylor
shop,
Swift,
sew,
be-
and bake and stay out of men's business.
Be like Taylor Swift. Be a billionaire. I don't care. Ann Michael May is having a lovely time on TikTok.
She's a fitness instructor too.
She
by
is
the
a fitness
way.
instructor too. She's
Okay.
teaching Pilates.
Okay, great.
I just don't need you to chime in on the intricacies of the organization through your TikTok captions. I don't need it. Do whatever you want. Also, his wife works at Sephora. She is making money. Good for her. I just don't need you to be commenting like that on TikTok. We have enough problems, as we just noted in the Browns quarterback room. We have a freako, Shador Sanders, and your fiance who does not seem to be able to throw a ball more than 15 yards. We've got enough problems. We don't
Hey, I
need
seen
you.
I seen a clip, and both these dudes is the homies. Kendrick Perkins. Who else was on? I know my man Dwayne Brown was on. It was some podcast, and he said the funniest shit in the world. He said Shador Sanders is the most important black man in America since Obama. And I was like, what the fuck is you talking about, man? Crazy. It is kind of interesting to me how he has captivated the landscape like this.
It is.
But-
I don't really understand it though.
Me neither. Because it's usually American, I guess, zeitgeist is very easy to understand if you look at through a historical context, but it doesn't check a lot of these boxes. And so I don't know, man. I don't know. But I think the prowess of his father probably plays
Yeah,
a big deal with
I
it.
think it's the Dion of it all.
Yeah, that has a lot to do with it. I don't think he's that polarizing of a guy.
Shador?
He's not.
Yeah. I
No,
don't-
he's pretty like he's not saying crazy shit in like press conferences or anything. And
It's like, you know what it is? He is and he ain't. And so he does enough to satiate both crowds. If you don't like him, he's gonna say something that's gonna
Mhm.
embellish that. And if you do like him, he's gonna say something to embellish that in the same interview.
Yeah, he's kind
And
of
that's
and he says some things that you can interpret either way. You're like a Rorschach test. Like I see a butterfly, that's a
Right.
dragon.
yeah, because a lot of people think he's like arrogant, and a lot of people think he's the most important black man since Obama. So
Which is a absolutely insane thing to
Crazy.
say.
insane. And
Crazy.
Kendrick Perkins, you my dude, but dog, that is a huff-worthy comment. What do you want?
I think it's also similar to the Ball family, where again the sons said things that were maybe a little bit crazy sometimes, but it's really
Not really.
But that's what I'm
It was
saying.
LeVar.
Like it was LeVar,
The dad's the one that draws the attention.
right? And then the sons just do what they can, around that.
They did retire his jersey at Colorado. That's probably the most polarizing thing that like Shador himself has been a part of.
I think Shador the entity is far more controversial than Shador the actual quarterback.
Agreed.
The
Most of the controversy around Shador is actually
Not about-
controversy about people talking about Shador.
yeah, he's not really doing
That's
anything
true.
so crazy.
Yeah, he just kind of
Yeah,
makes
he's not.
everybody insane.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why I don't know him, right? So like, I never met him. No Dion, and that's why it's so funny like watching the interview because he'll be like, man, he'll start it out with like, man, all glory to God. You know, I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. And then he'll be like, hey, this is only 1 week though, baby. Just imagine. So it's like you doing both though.
But it's the same thing. Like you've talked about it, and like NFL players have talked about it for a long time. You have to have such confidence in yourself to perform at a level like that.
Yeah.
And
you got to believe before anybody else.
Yeah.
Does.
You have to believe in yourself so fundamentally deep down inside you that you are he thinks he will turn around the Browns.
Yeah.
To be determined if that's the case. I have an inkling it's not, but.
And that's what I don't mind arrogance. I think I like arrogance. I think it's just it's a slippery slope though, because if you don't deliver,
then it looks really bad.
Then you get a mirror held to your face very quickly.
Fake it till you make it. And if you don't make it, then it can be tough to like your whole illusion of arrogance can be shattered violently if it's abundantly clear that you're not what you say that you are.
And here's a spoiler alert for anybody who thinks their favorite athlete is humble. They are not. Your favorite athlete absolutely thinks he is the best thing that has ever touched that field or court. I promise you. They have. Absolutely. Yes. You can't. To this day, I'll argue with people about my skill set because that's all I had. Like, and I believe that shit though. That's you. Even if you like, what's that old saying? You shoot amongst the moon.
Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars.
Yeah. So if I train my absolute best, I am emptying the tank on my talent and my skill set. But a part of that is your mental aptitude. How much can you believe in yourself? And you have to believe that shit. And so if I believe I'm the very best that has ever touched this field, then I'm going to land somewhere nice, right? If I think I'm the best running back to ever live, and I train like it, I'm emptying the tank on my talent. And I'm going to land somewhere else pretty good. Perennial Pro Bowler. That's a great career. But I believed I was best ever. All of them do. They all do. Tom Brady from fucking Drake May to whoever. They think they the best. But that's why they're there. And they should think that. I want all my players thinking they the best. But work like it though.
All right, Shador. You've got your marching orders. Work like it.
I've been reading Arian's mom's posts on VolQuest for the last 20 minutes.
Anything spicy?
She was on them niggas' heads.
No, she
just eloquent.
Yeah, but like when people would talk shit, she just talk shit back to them. She still tweets during Tennessee football games.
I love that.
I love it. I don't always agree with what she says, but I love that she's watching and tweeting about it.
Yeah, she's the mother of a football player for sure. She loves her baby. And then so her favorite team when I was growing up was Florida State. And my tenure at Tennessee completely converted her. She don't even give a shit about Florida State anymore. She's a Vols fan right now. Yeah.
We got a couple ads to do real quick. Before we get to the ads, though, this is our last show before the World Cup draw. I believe that's on Friday. Happening at the Kennedy Center. I believe Trump is taking part in it. Again, I've said that I believe and hope that this will be the most rigged World Cup draw of all time in favor of the United States. I have a prediction for our draw.
Okay.
And this is, it's going to be basically impossible to get it right, but I'm going to try.
I saw the pots the other day, but I didn't dig into it very far.
Yeah, so there are 4 pots that they have, and there are rules. So the United States is going to be in the first pool of teams, the upper echelon. And then that means that we'll have to play against one team that's in the second echelon, one team that's in the third, one team that's in the fourth. And you can't have more than 2 European teams in the same group, and you can't have 2 teams from the same region outside of Europe. So you can't have like 2 African teams, but you can have 2 European teams. That's the cutoff.
And had we not been the host, we probably would have been in the second group, right?
We'd be in group 2. I believe we're 14th in the world right now.
So we already avoid the best opponent we would have played were we not the hosts.
That is true. We avoid the elite teams. So it's us, Mexico, Canada. We're all fortunate enough to get into that first group. So I think, let's see, Canada is ranked 27th, Mexico is ranked 15th, U.S. is ranked 14th, and there are 12 teams in that first pot. So, luckily for us, we would potentially avoid playing against teams like that. All right, so here's my official prediction. I think it's going to be USA, Iran, South Africa, New Zealand. That's my call.
Are there any political implications of that, or you just think they're giving us the easiest draw possible?
No real political implications with that. That would be a hell of a match between U.S. and Iran right now.
Had that last time.
We did. So we're ranked 14th. Iran would be our toughest opponent. They're ranked 20th in the world right now. South Africa is ranked 61st in the world. And New Zealand is ranked 86th in the world. That would be a great draw for the United States. There's some other permutations that we can look at. I could see us playing against Saudi Arabia. I could see us playing against Qatar. And I could see us also drawing one of the unnamed teams that has not made the World Cup yet. So they still have qualifiers. Italy hasn't made the World Cup yet.
No way they missed 2 in a row, right?
There's no way. There's no way. So in the UEFA groups, you've got Italy, Northern Ireland, Wales, Bosnia, Ukraine, Sweden, Poland, Albania, Turkey, Romania, Slovakia, Kosovo, Denmark, North Macedonia, Czech Republic, Ireland. That's UEFA A through. Did I say Italy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's in playoff A. I could see us playing Kosovo too. We'll see, but I'm very optimistic about what's going to happen on Friday.
Tomorrow, by the way, there's a pre-sale for the Germany match. Are we going together?
Oh yeah, we should.
Okay.
Let's do it. Before we get back to macrodosing, this podcast is brought to you by our great friends over at Sport Clips. Sport Clips is the best. Big T, you get your haircut at Sport Clips, right?
Yeah, I went on last Monday before going home for Thanksgiving.
I love that. Sport Clips is the place where guys can go to get a great haircut and walk out looking like an all-pro. Sport Clips stylists have the playbook for a clean cut. They've mastered the X's and O's of men's hair. With the MVP haircut experience, you get a hot steam towel, you get massaging shampoo, you get a precision cut. It's the whole 9 yards. When you step into Sport Clips, you're walking into a zone for guys. The games are on. The stylists just get it. This is a place designed for guys to win and walk out with a haircut ready for the highlight reel. Sport Clips, it's a game changer. Check it out. This podcast is also brought to you by part of my cheesesteak and our new partnership with Penn Station East Coast Subs. We've got a new cheesesteak. It raises the bar even higher for cheesesteak lovers. It's the Mega Cheesesteak. It's a limited time offer this football season. A one-of-a-kind sub built with a mega portion of steak, pepperoni, provolone, American cheeses, sauteed onions, mushrooms, banana peppers, mayo. It is delicious. It's a great sub. They came in. They made them for us right here at the office. It's a delicious sub, delicious cheesesteak. The pepperoni is an awesome addition to a cheesesteak. Plus, you get the provolone and American cheese on there, the mushrooms, the onions, banana peppers, mayo. It's so good. Penn Station Subs have been around for 40 years. They're huge in the Midwest. They're the OG and craveable grilled subs. They've got 320 Penn Station locations. You can literally watch your Mega Cheesesteak sizzle, watch it melt on the grill, and they've got fresh cut fries, delicious lemonade, and fresh baked cookies. It's an undefeated combo. Penn Station Subs, the only place where fans can get the Mega Cheesesteak. Order it in-store, online, or through the Penn Station app for delivery. Shout out Penn Station Subs. Okay, so we've got a very specific assignment today. Should we play the voicemail again? Or should we just reiterate the voicemail?
Yeah, just go over it.
Okay, we'll just go over. So this caller wanted to hear specific policies that we would implement if we were president of the United States. Is that more or less what you want?
Yeah, like you're a platform.
So what would be your platform if you took over the country? Who wants to go first on this?
Are you doing it too?
I've got a couple, yeah.
Okay. So I've got 3 because I think you said 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I did 3.
Okay. Do we want to go one at a time or all at once?
No, same time. We're just 3 of us talking at the
No.
time.
All 3 of one person's at once or back and forth?
I say go one per.
Yeah. We'll just
kind of
go,
almost like a draft.
We'll go around.
Okay.
Big T, you start.
All right.
Kick us off.
Policy draft.
Which one of these do I want to do first?
Mad Dog McKinsey, do you guys have any?
No.
Okay.
I think Mackenzie and I will act as Ken Bone in this situation.
Okay.
All right. I'll do taxes first.
All right.
Okay. So, and by the way, a couple of these, the taxes isn't because that's a federal issue for the most part, but some of these are kind of state issues, but you're just going to have to suspend disbelief and we can fix whatever we want. Okay. But taxes, obviously, that's mostly a federal thing. I want to implement a flat tax. Let's call it 20%. We would need to do some analysis on what would get us to about neutral revenue, but let's say about 20. Increase the standard deduction rather significantly, say maybe 25, 30 grand for an individual. So your first $30,000 is not taxed. Okay. After that, everything is taxed at 20%. This is also, some of these ideas come from the Hall Rabushka tree of ideas of taxation, which is a flat tax proposal that only taxes consumption. So you are able to invest in retirement tax-free, some other investments and things like that. But money that you are earning and not investing is taxed at a flat rate above whatever your standard deduction is. There's no other deductions. There's no loopholes. This increases the tax base. More people will be paying taxes, which offsets some of the loss of your percentage. Like obviously the percentage for some people is going down.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
what about businesses?
I started to dig into corporate tax rates, and there was a ton that I didn't. This is just individuals.
It's just personal. So
yeah, we can talk about corporate tax rates, but I didn't get into that.
Essentially, a flat tax at 20%.
The number I'm negotiable on the number, but about 20 is generally where
okay.
People
What if an individual has a lot of money, but it's not liquid? So if they have like a shitload of stock in a company, and the value.
Well, now you're talking about capital gains tax.
Yeah, the value
which
is
different.
The value that went up.
This is income tax.
So this is strictly income taxes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't really know too much about the criticisms of flat tax. I guess the criticism would be that somebody that makes $50,000 a year is paying the same percentage as somebody that makes $100 million a year.
Correct.
And
significantly less money, but also you increase the standard deduction.
Right.
So you're not even paying taxes on your first half or 2/3 of your income.
Right.
And then this widens the tax base to people who aren't currently paying taxes.
Okay. So if let's say you made 50 grand a year, first 30,000, not taxed.
Whatever that number would be.
But
yeah.
approximately.
Yeah,
30
20,
grand.
30.
Okay. So then you're paying a 20% tax in that neighborhood on $20,000.
If you're not even investing any of that, yeah, so it could even be less.
Okay, so that would be somewhere around $4,000.
Correct.
In taxes to the individual that makes 50 grand.
Correct. And then if you make $1 million, you're paying 200 grand.
And if you make $1 million a year, 200 grand, $100 million a year, you're paying 20 million a year. Okay, I don't really know that much about the. Have we tried to implement a flat tax like that in the past?
Not that I'm aware of.
What do you think, Arian?
I think it's a horrible idea. If I tax somebody who makes $100 million, 20%, and I tax somebody who makes $31,000 a year, 20%, you think that's fair?
Well, as I just said, if it was 31, you'd be paying $200 in taxes.
31% of
20%. I said your standard deduction, let's call it 30 grand. So your first $30,000 of income is not taxed at all. If you make 25 grand a year, you pay zero income taxes.
So let's say you make 60 grand a year.
Mm-hmm.
You think that is a fair? Do you think it hits the same? 20% of my 60 is the same as 20% of my 100 million?
Well, what do you mean?
Like I'm sacrificing more to the public good at making $60,000 a year than I am making 100.
No.
Relatively, you absolutely are.
No, it's relatively the same, except it's far more in actual volume.
That's what I'm saying. Relative. I'm not feeling that at $100 million. At $60,000, I absolutely am. That changes what vacations I can go to. That changes if I can go on vacation. That changes the groceries I can buy. That changes everything. At $100 million, if you get the tax at 20%, you ain't feeling none of that. It doesn't change your quality of life at all.
But so if you're
It
paying,
actually helps your quality of life, which is
if you're paying 20% in income taxes, making 60 grand anyway, which is probably about what most people would be at, your only argument is then we should tax people making a ton of money, a far larger percentage of their income, so that they are now having to bear that burden as well. By the way,
so you look at tax as I forgot you have a libertarian viewpoint.
I don't like that
So
word.
well, that's what you used to say. I don't know what you say anymore.
It depends.
You look at tax. Do you still think taxation is theft?
Yes and no.
Give me the no part.
I think there is far more we can do to mitigate it, to where the things that people want are taken care of, but the government is not a money-making venture. I think we can do a lot more to have more Americans keep more of their money without sacrificing like the necessities of why there is income taxes.
So why are you opposed to taxing the rich at a higher rate?
Well, they already pay the overwhelming majority of the income taxes in the country. The top 1% pays like 40% of the income tax. The top 50% pays like 95%.
So you're
they're already paying all the taxes. The like fair share argument is nonsensical. If it was a fair share, they'd be paying less.
How's that logic?
Because like I just said, the top 1% of earners pay 40% of the income taxes.
Yeah, but they make the majority,
and that's why they're paying more money.
But that's literally the argument for why they should be taxed at a higher rate, because they if they in what I guess I should ask this: in what world is a wealth gap a positive for society? Like a huge wealth gap. Like do you think that's a benefit for society? Or
I don't think it's inherently positive or negative. It depends what else is going on.
You don't think that having the majority of Americans one emergency away from life-altering debt?
No, I think that's terrible. I think this helps with that.
What evidence do you have that helps with that?
What's the standard deduction right now? Like 10 or 15 grand?
Let's see. I actually don't know.
I think it's like 12. It's somewhere in there. So you're doubling that or more. If you make $40,000 a year in this proposal, you're paying $2,000 in taxes.
Standard for a single person is 15.7. For married filing jointly, it's 31.5.
Okay, so let's say you double both of those. So for an individual, it's $30,000. For a married couple, it's $60,000.
Okay.
You're paying, most Americans would pay less in taxes. You would widen the tax base so that more people are paying taxes to recoup some of that revenue to keep it about what you're at now, revenue-wise.
I think one of the problems is the super wealthy people, they don't like take a salary. They don't have, like, income might not even be the best way to put it. They have assets that appreciate, and then they take lines of credit out against those assets that they have. So they're borrowing money from a bank at a very low rate, based on the amount of assets that they own, using those as collateral.
Well, so that's capital gains, and that's something else to be figured out.
Yeah.
Which I do understand, but this is talking about federal income tax.
Okay. All right. Well, that's policy number one.
Last little point on that. There, like, and I understand that there's different opinions on it, just like economically, through economists, right? But one of the studies that I read, it looked at trickle down economics from 1965 to 2015. It was a meta-analysis, and they found that notion of, and so like this is a very the notion of trickle down economics is very pervasive in conservative ideology. But that so like me being against it is not just some like knee jerk reaction just to be in opposition. It's like the studies that I've actually read into this. I don't and if anybody listening to this, send me the studies that you have. And if you, Big T, if you have one, send me studies that you have that looks at a long meta analysis of trickle down economics and how it is beneficial. I haven't seen it. And it's why the wealth gap from the 60s and 70s has increased like 3,000%. Is because when because we live in a regressive tax. Like this is an time after time again, America has stripped away taxes for the wealthy and the corporations. Um, and the wealth gap is only continued to increase.
I
And so
don't
I
I
don't.
don't necessarily agree that this is a trickle down effect. I think trickle down would be lowering like corporate tax rates significantly and things, and then counting on that money to make its way down. This is lowering taxes for the entire tax base for the most part, which
But
would
that's what a flat tax is not.
how
A flat tax is not because you're cutting taxes for the wealthy. It- you know how math works. So
Mhm.
the higher you get in wealth, the least the less it's going to affect you.
Sure, but you're also lowering taxes for the people. If you make $30,000, you pay no taxes. How is that not better than, I don't know what the percentage of tax you'd pay now on 30 grand, but 10, 15% probably.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
And so I mean, I would have to mull over the actual numbers.
More people would keep more of their own money. Now, yes, rich people would keep more of their own money, but they would still be paying significantly more than everyone else.
Mathematically, how much? I would have to look at the actual numbers. It's like because there's still like programs we have to pay for federally, locally, things like that. All of that matters. I don't know how much of the pool you take from that. I don't know. I would have to look at that. But uh I'm not in favor of flat tax. Roughly.
All right. Arian, you're up.
I'm running a very simple platform. I'm running on Medicare for all.
Okay.
I think that in the richest country in the world, we have a fiscal and moral obligation to take care of our constituents. And the first question I always asked is like, how are you going to pay for it? In America, it's the only question we ask is how you going to pay for it is when we helping people. Anytime it's when we bombing people, nobody ever asks how we going to pay for it. Anytime it's anything to expand power or take away power or strip right, nobody ever asks how you going to pay for it. But I propose it's also in my second thing, my second point, so they kind of go with each other. Is I propose cutting 10 to 15% of the military budget. We spend over almost $1 trillion uh, in military expenses, and I would argue, and I think it's the what is it? The Pentagon hasn't passed a uh, what is it called?
Audit.
An audit, yeah. And so, for all the things that Doge should have done is to look at that and to see why we can never pass an audit and where does all this money go. And if you want to clean up government efficiency, I say we start there. And instead of setting up useless military bases over 100 countries around the world, if we cut it by 10 to 50%, we still blow the closest country out of the water in military spending. And so it's not about safety. Um, and I think that would add billions and maybe even trillions to uh, universal daycare, which can go into healthcare, mental health care facilities, insulin, shit like that, people that actually struggle with. So I'll run it on one thing. healthcare for the people of the United States of America.
I think that's a good idea. I think there's a ton of money that we spend on defense that you could cut back on. So much money. What's the percentage of our budget that goes to defense? It's like Social Security and defense are the biggest expenditures that we have.
Yeah,
but this I'm going to sound like a
13%.
13%. I'm going to sound like a hippie right now. You ready for this?
Do it.
What if we just, nukes should be illegal. Just get rid of all the nukes.
Who makes that call?
Just get rid of. We all do as people. I want everybody to get high, smoke a joint.
Well, so now you're into a game theory.
Everyone smokes a joint, and then I could convince everyone, dude, just chill out.
That would be game theory.
Chill out with the nukes. There is a lot of game theory involved. Yeah.
Because if everyone gets rid of the nukes, it's in your best interest to get rid of the nukes. But if one person keeps it,
then
it is in your best interest to not. Therefore,
technically, it is my Second Amendment right to have a nuke.
That is true.
That's accurate.
Now, you also would run into a situation where you are getting rid of the nukes, and then some people be like, actually, the world's safer because of nuclear weapons. Because they've prevented wars.
There's an argument to be had.
If there's a war between two countries that are nuclear capable, they will come to their senses.
Hey, it only took one.
It took
two.
Well, two. Yeah, two. But then,
hey, PFT, how do you stop a bad guy with a nuke?
Good guy with
a great guy with a nuke.
There you go.
But what about the aliens? It feels like the aliens have been telling us for the last 50 years, like, chill out with the nukes. They always show up around the facilities. They monitor all the weapons that we have. They've deactivated some of the nukes that we have. I feel like the aliens are telling us, like, you cannot use nukes. I say we listen to the aliens. Disarm.
I'm with you. I'm anti-war, so that's also my platform. Actually pull out of all foreign conflicts, especially the ones we're aiding. Passive war.
The nukes one was just off the top of my head, but I will include that as a bonus plank of my policy. Mine are maybe a little less serious than yours, but I actually do believe in this one. Mandatory open gyms across the United States. And what I mean by that is every town of 1,000 people or more gets a gym. They've got nice rims, full court, a pool, weight room, probably some racquetball courts, maybe a couple pickleball courts outside, tennis courts, baseball fields, football uprights, like a 50-yard football field, like gaming room where you got some bean bags, got some PS5s, big screen TVs, and it's free to use for anybody under the age 18 and under. Go in.
So I can't go play basketball? I was on board with you.
Well, okay, so we can talk about that because that's the expansion pack that I have as well.
Okay.
These facilities, there will be one that's more engineered towards children, 18 and under, and then one that's for 18 and up. And at the 18 and up one, it would be like a gym that you would pay a membership for. It would be a very reasonable price. I'm talking maybe like, I don't know, $20 a month, something like that. But it's run using government money to subsidize the gym. So the monthly payments, that goes to, paying the people that work there, some of the upkeep. But when it comes to like maintaining the gym, upgrading the gym, all that stuff, that is from the federal government budget.
Now, I don't want to this is a great idea you have.
And there's like on Saturdays and Sundays, those are game days. So like there's sports leagues that would then play at this gym.
You are describing local parks departments.
I am, but
these exist.
But I'm saying something that's federally funded.
Okay, so you just want the big fella in charge?
I want the money from the federal government to help make these gyms great again.
Okay.
Because
I'm on board with having good basketball courts across America that are pristine.
Well, here's the thing is like, yeah, local parks departments do this, but one of the first things that get cut when it comes to local budgets is parks. Parks and Rec. That's looked at as like a leisure activity, like a nice to have. In my vision for America, and it's most important for 18 and under, because if you have nice gyms, places to hang out, and I feel like that's good for everyone's mental health. It's good for the community. It gives you something to do, a place to go.
Kids aren't hanging out in the Sonic parking lot looking for mischief.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth.
See, in Mount Juliet, the Sonic parking lot's right next to the park, so it's actually a nice little twofer.
Oh, so you get those are the bad kids over there.
Well, yeah, so you would go play basketball at Charlie Daniels Park, and then you'd go right across, go to Sonic.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's small town America as fuck right there.
Mm-hmm. Charlie Daniels Park, too. Rest in peace.
Yep. All right, so that's my first plank is mandatory open gyms across America.
Are the others of yours similar in tone? I feel like you should probably just rip through.
Okay, I'll just rip through mine.
Because mine are serious.
Then listen, I am not a militant bicycle activist. I don't own a bike. I used to ride a city bike around New York sometimes if I was trying to get somewhere that was close. It was way more convenient than getting a cab or walking or the subway sometimes. And I'm also not a bicyclist hater. I know that there's a lot of bicyclist haters out there that get annoyed with bicyclists for sharing the roads. A lot of times they do not obey the same traffic laws. I understand that. Elevated bike lanes.
I love this. I actually should have included this.
Elevated bike lanes / pedestrian lanes, sidewalks, but primarily elevated bike lanes in every city. We'll say every town above 10,000 population. You have elevated bike lanes to get around. If you want to bike, I love that for you. That's a great way to stay healthy. It's better for the environment. You get better exercise going to work, going home. If you want to commute on a bike, if you want to get around town on a bike, I think that should be something that should be safe, and it's something that should be encouraged. But also, it should not be something that makes driving in that city more complicated and dangerous.
You don't even need to elevate them. Just wall them off somehow.
Yeah,
just have dividers. That's all I need.
But then you're making right turns and...
Well, yeah, obviously when it crosses in the middle of the road,
Yeah.
you leave that. But when it's just on the side, like sometimes they'll have the dividers or whatever, just put those up everywhere.
That's why I think elevated bike lanes is the way to go. You don't have to worry about cars if you're a bicyclist. Obviously, that's something that's very dangerous. If you get hit by a car, if someone's texting, they hit a bicyclist, it's not going to end up good. And if you're a car driver, you probably get annoyed with bicyclists a fair amount for not obeying the same rules. For sometimes they don't look where they're going or they'll swerve, and then they put you in a position where you're about to hit somebody. Elevated bike lanes across America. I yield my time.
Was that your third?
That was my third. And no nukes.
I'm on board with the bikes and basketball courts.
Okay, there we go.
So I have a healthcare one in response to Arian. And Arian, I think it's important to remember, you and I are after the same goal. This is us against the problem, not me against you.
All right, I'm open to listening.
Okay, first one is price transparency. Hospitals have to tell you what things cost. Prices don't exist. They just make them up. There has to be, if I walk into a store, I want to buy a banana, it costs $1 or whatever. You have to tell me a price. And the insurance companies have to tell you their negotiated price as well.
Okay. Now, with the hospitals, when things are super expensive, that's because that's what they charge the insurance company.
Correct, because
Right.
they're making it up. If you walk into a hospital and say, I need a CAT scan, what does that cost? They'll look at you like you're crazy. I don't know.
Okay, so how would you go about determining what a CAT scan costs?
That's up to them.
Okay.
It can cost whatever you want, and then presumably, if you make it cost something outrageous, you'll go to a different hospital.
See,
Okay.
this is where I just fundamentally disagree.
All right, let me just keep going. That was
Okay, my
that was
fault.
just one pillar.
My fault.
Insurance companies can negotiate across state lines. That feels very reasonable to me. I don't know why that states have different regulations. I'm generally against introducing more federal regulations, but let's have one. It feels reasonable to me that the United States would have one authority over what insurance companies can and can't do. So you're not messing with different state regulations. This one's more lax than whatever. We have a federal standard of what the insurance companies can do, and you can negotiate with whatever insurance company you want. If you live in Wyoming and your only option is Aetna or whatever, and now you have 8 other insurance companies that you can negotiate with, that's going to be far better for you. Yeah. So you can negotiate across state lines, and then eliminate health savings accounts contribution limits for people making under, I don't know what the number is. You'd have to look into that, but say 50, 60 grand. I don't know what it is, but you can contribute an unlimited amount to a health savings account if you make under that. Over that, you increase the limits. Because those are, I actually very recently learned about health savings accounts. They're awesome. Everyone should use one.
Tell the people why.
It's basically, it's like a Roth account for health expenses. And then if you don't use it, you can take it out and it's like you had it in an IRA. Mm-hmm. It's great stuff. We should increase the limits for it. I don't want to say the number because I don't know, but it's not very big. Increase it for everyone. Make it unlimited for people making under a certain threshold. That would help tremendously. And then open up the insurance marketplace to where it's actually a free market, not a whatever we've got now. I don't even know what you'd call it. And then make them tell you what stuff costs.
Okay, when it comes to, just back to the HSA real quick, because I've never used one. At the end of the year, or what do I do? Like if I go to a doctor, the doctor visit, I have a $30 copay to go to the doctor. How do I use my health savings account to pay for that? To
be honest, I'm not entirely sure because I only really found out about it a couple months ago when we were doing our new enrollment stuff, and it's a good thing. You should use it.
Mad Dog McKinsey, you guys know how to use it?
I think they give you like a credit card for it. Okay. So and there's a lot of things, like my dad was telling me, if you don't use it or if you forget to use it, you can literally just type in Amazon eligible HSA products, and there's so many things you can,
like toothpaste.
Yes, stuff like that, or I wear contacts, so I can buy my contacts with that money. Any medicines or stuff. I think
kind of embarrassing that I'm 40 years old and
so
have never used an HSA.
I think it just depends on I don't know.
I think some
your lifestyle.
Some insurance some plans don't have it, but
yeah.
You and or your employer put money into the HSA. Annual contribution limits are set by the IRS, around $4,000 for individuals and $8,000 for families. Contributions can be pre-tax through payroll, tax deductible if made on your own, and tax-free if made by your employer. Unused funds roll over every year. They do not expire.
Okay.
I just opened my first, I just enrolled in my first HSA this year because we switched providers or whatever, and we had to do active enrollment, and I was told to get an HSA. I don't even know how to really access that money. That'll be later down the line, though.
I think they give you a credit card or a gift card.
Yeah, we haven't switched over till January.
Oh, right. That's so true.
So Big T, when it comes to the health insurance companies and the transparent pricing and things like that, I feel like health insurance companies have colluded amongst each other. The spirit of competition is not really as applicable when it comes to insurance as it is in other fields.
Well, they're also operating in what's not a true market because, like I said, there are states where there's only 2 insurance companies, one sometimes.
But there's not a lot of people starting a mom and pop insurance place.
No, but again,
so it's not really true competition like you would say a grocery store. That's one facet of American business that's a true competitive marketplace. If you don't like the grocery store, you want to start your own, you have a small amount of seed money or a fairly large amount, but you want to go out, buy products they don't have, and then sell them at your store. Or you think, hey, I can get meat for cheaper. I can open my own store. You can't really open an insurance company.
It will be an oligopoly to a lesser extent, but these companies aren't. It will be more of a marketplace than it is.
I think that the insurance companies are the ones that are primarily to blame for the cost of healthcare, not the hospitals just making up prices.
I don't think it's one or the other.
I would put most of the blame on the insurance companies for that.
Also, I don't know how you would do this through law, but you walk into a pharmacy and they're like, this is $8, and then you plop down your insurance card and it's $25. That's illegal now too. I don't know how to do that, but you get the lowest price of whatever the thing is. Like, there are things that are more expensive with insurance than without.
Everything costs what it costs.
Do you think monopolies are good? Like in a marketplace?
No, not usually.
So do you think
It's an
that monopolies
oligopoly.
are inevitable in a free market?
Sometimes, depends.
So in your healthcare plan, it would directly reflect what is already a product of capitalism, which is monopolies. How do you stop a monopoly other than like regulation, in which you would say it's not a free market?
Why do you say it's inevitable that there would be a monopoly?
It's the same reason why if you start a drink company, Coca-Cola is eventually going to buy you out. You don't have the resources to compete with that at a certain
I'm not
point.
saying there's going to be a ton of like local insurance companies that pop up, but this would force the ones that exist to negotiate more fairly than they do now, because they sometimes exist in markets where there's no competition and they don't have to.
Well, this is why the whole a lot of like conservative ideology is just contradictive in nature to me. If we are to believe that you are pro-life, which I'm fine with, right? I think that I'm pro-choice, but I feel like it's a very nuanced and complex conversation. Right? It's not just black and white. It is there is an argument to be had on both sides that I think are valid. I follow on pro-choice for obvious reasons, but if you are pro-life, why does it stop after the life is born? It seems to me as if you would do everything in your power to make healthcare as free as possible, because that extends life.
Well, firstly, I disagree with the beginning of your premise, but if I thought that like it stops, whatever, but to your point, if I thought that what you were proposing would be cheaper for Americans, I'd be all on board for it. But
well, this is what I'm saying. So like, imagine you.
But you keep saying it's free. You know it's not free. People are paying for it.
Imagine you get to talk to Jesus, right? At the end of your life, you sitting at the pearly gates, and he'd be like, "Well, why weren't, just out of curiosity, how come you weren't for people getting healthcare for free?" And your response was, because it's not cheap. Like, do you think that is a morally good thing that he would agree with?
I do not accept that Medicare for all is necessary for my salvation.
I'm not saying it is. I'm saying if we were to believe that a Christian conservative is carrying the ideals of Jesus, because I like Jesus, right? I think he was a great character. No disrespect. I mean that with all respect. I actually do. I grew up loving Jesus, right? As a Muslim, and I think that we allow our marketplace to corrode what I feel like he exuded, which is to help the poor. But like, if you were to tell me Christian conservative ideology is for the poor, I would be very confused as to that statement.
Well, to be clear, the poor are like, they have Medicaid now. We're not.
If I have to choose between like an insulin payment and food, I'm going to choose food. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it should be free, and we should fight for that.
But what is that? And so you, in your proposal, are like, are taxes going up? Where is that coming? If there's
that was my main point, was where is it coming from?
But that has to be a factor. It has to.
It doesn't.
Because well, let me tell you why. Let me real quick.
We bailed out the banks in 2008.
Yeah, nobody's for that. Nobody's in favor of that. But I'm saying, if it's coming
when we send bombs to Israel, nobody asks, where is it coming from?
But everyone's against that. Nobody likes that either. What I'm saying is, if it's coming at a greater cost to people than like what we've already got, or what we could potentially shift to, like, how is that? Sure, you're getting it for free in quotation marks. You're paying more for it elsewhere. I'm not opposed to your idea because you presented it. I'm opposed to it because I haven't seen any evidence that it would actually be cheaper for people. I think it would be more expensive.
We have plenty of examples, like in Nordic countries.
Where there's 3 million people?
Yeah, our GDP is higher. We produce more. So that will level out relatively.
I have yet to see that be. Every time this is proposed, it's like, well, yeah, there will be tax
increases. I think you've yet
increases.
to look at it. I think you've yet to look at it. I'm being dead honest.
I would like to sit down with you and we will look at it, because every time I've heard this proposed from politicians, it's like, well, yeah, obviously there will be tax increases on.
They don't want to
such
tax
and such
you.
people.
They don't want to tax you. They want to tax the people that you are protecting in your first point plan. When you want to give billionaires a flat rate of 20%, that's who they want to tax. And
I'm
you're
dubious
against that,
of that. I'm dubious of that.
Dubious meaning against?
No, skeptical.
Of taxing billionaires?
No, that's all it would be.
Bernie ran on this.
I'll need to look into. I'm pretty sure Bernie's proposal was taxing people who made like more than $100,000.
No, it was. I think it was 250. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or it might have been even 400. I think it was 400. PFT. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was.
I forget
400.
Bernie's tax plan. It is wild to go back and think that in 1950, we were taxing anyone who made. I think the equivalent is like $4 million a year. If you made more than $4 million a year, every dollar you made over that was taxed at 90%.
90% marginal tax rate. But
to be clear, when income taxes were introduced, it was 1% for everyone,
right?
Only until the war was over.
So if you made $5 million a year, you would pay like the standard rate on $4 million. So that would be what, like, I'm guessing 30%, something like that. And then the $1 million that you made over the $4 million, if you made $5 a year, then $900,000 would be taken out in taxes. So you would go home with 4.1 million or whatever minus the 30%. You just make that $100,000.
And I'm not an economist. This is just the little research that I've done. But I can speak for a millionaire that at a certain point you're greedy. Period. Like and it is one of the most fascinating things in the world to see people who are not millionaires advocate for millionaires that they will never be. It is absolutely fascinating to me. The people will be like, well, they create jobs and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dog. There's a certain point where you're just not going to be happy if you're not happy with what you have.
I would say that
you're going to be happy, dog.
I don't know too many billionaires. I'm trying to think if I know any billionaires.
Just real quick, Bernie Sanders' tax plan would raise average federal tax rates by about a third for the highest income 20% in America, which is those making $170,000 or more.
Okay.
So it's not billionaires.
No, I'm just.
What is the numbers? What are the actual numbers?
That's just they would raise average federal tax rates by about 1/3 for the highest income 20%, those making about $170,000 or more, from 24 to 32%.
Is that from him? From him?
This is from the Tax Policy Center.
Where's his? I want to see what he says.
So there's BernieTax.com, which I don't know if is run by him or not, and it just has a thing where you can like put in what you would make and then what your healthcare costs are. Tax Policy Center is run by the Brookings Institution. Seems like a pretty reputable deal.
Brookings is a little libertarian, I think, aren't they? But it don't matter.
I'm not sure.
I just want to.
But again, it's not billionaires. It's
still a 1%. Like he wants to tax
20%. It's the top.
I want to see his numbers, but I'm not Bernie Sanders. I want to see his numbers, but I'm not Bernie Sanders. But what I'm saying is,
and that's pie in the sky. Like this is going to work perfectly.
There's no such thing as working perfectly.
I understand. That's why I'm saying that it's.
But
odds are it's not going to be as good as the proposal.
I find it abhorrent in a world that we are the richest country in the world, that if the average American has a medical emergency, they go into debt for the rest of their life. I find that abhorrent.
I do too. Nobody likes that.
I don't think. I think you don't like it in theory, but when it actually comes down to act, because that's what it means. If we living in a community and my day is ruined because I have to help out my neighbor, my day isn't ruined. I have to help out my neighbor. to me, that is the very essence of who Jesus was. And every time I hear people arguing against this, it's like, well, who's gonna pay for it? Fucking you, fucking me, bro. I would love to pay more if I know that I'm going to save somebody's kid's life for cancer treatments, for insulin, and this is what it boils down to. People are actually dying from this shit, and then people are going into debt because of it. And I'm just like, yeah, fuck it, let's pay for it. I don't understand. Yes.
You would acknowledge we kind of do that now for the people who need it.
No, we don't.
Sure, we do.
I don't know that there's an article, but I don't know the role that is. But people at an alarming rate do not even go to the hospital because they can't pay for it.
And then you can go bankrupt if you get into an accident, and then that fucks up your credit. Then that fucks up the rest of your life if you're planning on like moving or making a purchase.
It's a spiral, and that's what kills me about the rhetoric from like Medicare for All and people who are against it. It's like a lot. I'm not saying you do. I'm saying what I hear from a lot of people think that it's just the notion is it's almost like I want to take from people. No, that's not the premise of it. The premise is I want to help human beings survive. And you'll probably hear that because like, so do I. But the but is not important to me. The but is a moral issue to me. I know it's not for everybody, but for me, my whole ideology rests on that I want to feed people, I want to house people, I want people to eat food.
I think you're attributing to me a position I don't hold, but I also does anyone think the government, if put in charge of, by the way, the government is tremendously involved in the healthcare market already, which is part of the reason it sucks. If we hand everything over to the government, you think it's going to be run well and efficiently?
Not health care, health insurance.
Okay. You think that's going to be run efficiently?
I think that there's...
And by the way, if you control the entire insurance market, you control healthcare.
You would have significant leverage when it comes to certain aspects of healthcare. I think that there are countless examples across the world of countries that do this. They have their flaws. I'm not saying
there are many examples of people who live there that hate those systems.
Guess what? Everybody hates their healthcare. Everyone does. Everyone is annoyed by certain aspects of it. Nobody is like, "Oh, this is awesome. Everything's perfect with my insurance company. Everything's perfect."
I have no issues with my healthcare because I'm a wealthy man in America. I have no issues with it. But if I was a poor man in America, I would have issues with my healthcare. And I'm saying, if I was to start a country from scrap, this would be my number one priority: healthcare. But what is tagged along with healthcare? It's education, it's nutrition. So for things like people always say, well, your health is your problem. I hear that a lot from the right? But they're also against giving kids school lunches for free, healthy school lunches, healthy food in schools. People are against that too. Well, who's going to pay for it? Like, what are we working for in this life if it's not to help people? Coming from an atheist, that's all. That's my entire life is revolved around that. My entire ideology, is revolved around how can we help people the best? And it seems like the opposition is not for that. Y'all are like, how can I help you help yourself?
Remember, me and you against the problem, not you against me. You're putting me in a position I don't have. The whole reason
these are your positions.
No, the whole reason I said my position is not you want to help people, I do not. That is not my position.
It sounds like it.
Well, it's not. I said the whole reason I am against what you are proposing is because I think it will harm the people you are trying to help more than you say it will. Do you there are unintended consequences of everything. And I don't think you keep using the word free, like it's going to be free. I don't think for the majority of people it's going to end up being free. I think it's going to cost way more. If it can be proven that that's not true, I'm willing to reconsider.
So you'd be for Medicare for all if we could pay for it?
Who is we? Not if it's the 40% of taxpayers paying 30% more in taxes.
So you're against helping people if it is at a cost to you.
To them,
if it is at a burden to you.
To everyone.
I'm talking to you specifically. I'm talking to Big T.
What does that mean?
If somebody comes to you and say, Big T, we're gonna take 10% out of your check, and we are gonna be able to fund everyone to have free healthcare, you'd say no.
What does that mean? This is 10. So you're taking 10 additional
10%.
from me.
Yes.
That's what but you're doing that for everyone, is what you're saying.
Everybody. Yeah.
I think that's costing more than what your healthcare costs now.
But you're making sure everybody can have free healthcare.
Again,
so that
if I'm
having a heart attack, I don't have to, and I get shuttled to the hospital from an ambulance. It's not a $3,000 bill, $4,000 bill, $5,000 bill. That shit free for people, so that they're not scared of calling the ambulance if they feel something in their chest. They're not scared because it's free. I'm saying and this is magic. This is not magic. This is a hypothetical situation. I'm getting down to the ideology of it. If it's costing you a certain part of your money, you're not willing to help people. I'm just trying to get that.
No,
correct.
your phrasing is false.
I don't think you like the phrasing, but those are the consequences of your beliefs.
No, because if everyone is paying an additional 10% of their income for this, it's costing you more.
Make up a number.
No, but I think that's actually a good premise from you, is that yes, you're going to have another 10% of your income gone to pay for this free healthcare.
Yes,
and I think there are ways to make the system better that do not necessitate that and would not take more of people's money.
I agree that you believe there's a better system. I understand that you feel that way. That's not what I'm trying to get to. I'm talking about the baseline feeling of it. Are you okay with having less of your income if more people can get health care?
I want to maximize my income in every way possible. I do not want the government in any circumstance.
Okay. Let's say this is a hypothetical. Pixie dust across the United States of America. We found a way to take 10% out of your check, but every single human being has free health care. Are you for or against that?
It's not free.
Clearly, we're paying for it. Roads aren't free. Fire department isn't free.
I am for free health care. If it is free, I am for it.
There's no such thing as free.
So now it's not free.
There's no such thing as free.
You just told me it was free.
When I say free, I'm saying for the people that cannot afford it.
For people who can't afford it, it's already free.
It is not.
How many millions of people do we have on Medicare and Medicaid because they can't afford it?
There's out-of-pocket expenses. There's different loopholes that this is not.
Well, you told me it was free.
I think that's what you should think. You think that people, if you poor, you could just go get help.
No, I am totally I am totally aware that there are people who have a medical emergency and it's crippling and that's terrible, and I think we should fix it. I don't think your solution fixes it.
I'm not asking. We're clearly not going to solve a healthcare debate on a Barstool podcast.
Agreed.
What I'm asking and what I think and why you won't answer this question is because your belief systems about healthcare do not match your spiritual belief systems.
No, I've answered your question. You're saying, can it be if I take 10% of your income, then it's free? Well, that doesn't make any sense.
No, I said if I take 10% of your income and we figure out a way to take that income to give everybody free healthcare. Are you for or
so
against you're hung up on
in your hypothetical? Am I funding the healthcare of all of America, or is everyone losing 10% of their income?
Everybody's losing 10% of their income.
As I've said, I think that's probably going to cost more people than the system we have now. That's why. But do you understand what I'm saying? You're framing it.
It's a hypothetical. It is not real. I haven't gone nowhere near actually running the numbers about healthcare. It would take me a year to go through all of that shit. This is a hypothetical.
I understand. The hypothetical answer is that if everyone is losing 10% of their income, that's going to cost more than healthcare costs now.
No, it's not. If I have a brain tumor, It's not going to cost me 10% of my income to fix that. It's going to cost me well over that.
Okay, what percentage of people have a brain tumor?
Who gives a fuck? What percentage
When
of
you're
people have
talking
cancer?
about the number of people that if 350
cancer treatments with chemo, broken arms, X-rays, bacterial diseases. There's a litany of issues that Americans go through that they cannot afford. That's why it's a hypothetical. And the reason why you won't answer is because you're gonna have to say, "No, I want my money. I don't give a fuck about people." That's
No,
what
I've
you're gonna have
answered
to
it.
say.
Your framing is false.
It's a hypothetical. Hypotheticals are not made to actually address topics. They're
Well, then it's
just
dumb.
meant to. No, they're not. They're meant as thought experiments, right?
If I said, Arian, right now, if I said right now you could be homeless, living on the street, you have no family, nothing, but everyone has health care, would you do it?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's dumb.
I actually care about
but you just want to be able to, yeah, that's exactly it. You want to say, I am a good person, TM, I care about people.
And see, that's I think the interesting part of the healthcare debate is when it comes down to it. That's why you won't answer the question.
I answered it.
Because I think you're only willing, and this is a broad statement. People are, I think in general, you're only willing to stand on what you stand for until your money has to be involved with it. And I think when it comes to actually having to put your money where your mouth is, I think the majority of people don't give a fuck about people. I don't think you care.
Okay.
I just don't.
All right, let's get to Arian, your next platform.
My next one is to actually weed out government corruption, and I think we can get on board with this. So a few things: term limits on everybody, from the Supreme Court to Congress to Senate, ensuring that even like you can only run 1 or 2 times in Congress and Senate. I don't want to have serial Senate members. No. I feel like that would absolutely make you more subservient to the people than lobbyists. Because if I'm only in here for 2 years, I feel like you would have a better interest in serving the people rather than the lobbyists. Stop trading illegal. A separate agency, an independent agency auditing every single part of the government. Every single part. Maybe even a foreign country. I don't know. Maybe not. I haven't thought that went all the way through. But absolutely auditing ourselves. I think that's mandatory. But actually just getting rid of corruption. I think that would be my third. So like not like draining the swamp and then hiring people that are CEOs of big banks at Wall Street, but actually getting rid of corruption in the government.
So I think the argument against the term limit that you said was that it could be useful to have somebody that's in the House that understands the way things work and how to navigate, how to pass bills, that know the procedures, things like that, which might be a learning curve. There was a guy, actually, I was an intern when I was like, what was I like? I want to say 18. But I came back from college and through the company that I worked for, they had a partnership with some people on Capitol Hill. And I got to be a Senate intern for Tom Coburn, who was like the most conservative senator in the Senate for like 10 years. But when he ran saying that the concept of having like citizen legislators was important. So like if you're a doctor, that's the idea that the founding fathers had, was like people who come from different fields. If they're a doctor, if they're a lawyer, if they're a farmer, they also serve as Congress people. And so he was in Congress for like, I want to say he said that he would only run for 2 terms as a congressman. And then after his second term was up, he ran for Senate. He's like, I didn't say anything about the Senate. I only talked about the House of Representatives. So he even got like he was the biggest guy who was in favor of these like stringent term limits. And then by the end, he was like, yeah, it's pretty nice here. It's pretty nice. But I feel like everybody is in favor of the stock trading ban until they actually get there. And then they're like, no, you know what? Let's put this off a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That would be my third.
Okay.
Weed out the snakes.
So it's my third?
Your third.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I thought I was saving the one there was going to be an argument about to the end.
Let's get it.
All right. So, and we had a similar discussion recently, so we don't have to do the whole thing. But I think, at least in my day-to-day life, the thing that I find myself like more upset about than anything is guy arrested 72 times lighting a random woman on fire on the train, and you see this happen every several weeks. I have, for first policy, end the no cash bail for violent crimes. I think that's very common sense. I don't see why that's a thing. If you got a shoplifting or whatever, fine. But if you committed a violent crime and you just get let out of jail, I can't see how anyone's in favor of that. And I've come up with some numbers that I think are very more than fair.
Okay.
If you are convicted of 10 separate crimes, so 10 times you are convicted of a crime.
So not like you've been charged with 10
Correct.
counts on
Correct.
the same thing.
This is 10 separate instances of being not arrested, convicted of a crime. You just got to be in jail for the rest of your life. You've made it clear you're not willing to abide by the rules of society. Like you
now,
just...
what if it's
or 3 violent felonies.
Okay, what if it's 10 separate instances of like non-violent crime?
Like what?
Graffiti. Let's say a guy just can't stop graffiti.
Well, first of all, you probably wouldn't get convicted of that. You'd be fined or something.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've done something 9 times and you know one more time you're going to prison and you can't stop yourself from doing it and it's a criminal act, then like, yeah, you probably don't have the self-control to like be out in society.
Okay, so would you spend... So in this hypothetical...
And I think 10 is a more than reasonable number.
Okay, let's say we got one guy, graffiti, trespassing, operating an illegal poker game. Take your pick of any other non-violent felonies.
7 more times.
Non-violent, 7 more times. They go to like federal prison, like scary gang prison. Maximum security.
We can maybe build a few more minimum if that's all you've done, but
okay,
you're doing a straw man and it still kind of falls short.
No, it's like actual example.
And again, most of those things you probably wouldn't get like convicted of. You'd have a plea deal or something, or you would, This is convicted of 10 crimes or 3 violent felonies.
3 violent felonies. Okay, where do we draw the line at violent? Against property?
I think that's a legal designation.
Against property or against a person?
I mean, against property. I think if you like break into somebody's house and you have a gun, I think that's considered a violent felony.
I would agree with that.
That's not me. I think that's what the actual designation is.
Okay. So I think we can agree that we want people to be safe.
100%.
That we have some big gaps in our judicial system where there's people that have been like very convincingly marked as people that are dangerous, that are not getting rehabilitation in whatever case that might look like, right?
Agreed.
On the same hand, I always like to remind myself that crime rates as a whole are way down. We see more of them because of the internet, and the horrible ones are obviously everywhere. And it's not trying to minimize those, but you also have to take into account the totality of the country being safer than it's been since like probably the 80s.
That's fine. So then this isn't applying to that many people.
So it would be applying to fewer people.
Good.
In that case. I don't I think that we definitely need to reform the bail system. I think the bail system is just by and large. I don't know what the solution is. If you're saying that if it's for like all violent, if you're accused of a violent crime, you then have to pay cash to get out before your trial.
Yeah, I think just go back to it was up to the judges whether you got bail or not.
Okay. As opposed to putting up to the judges whether or not you were released.
I think now, yeah.
Because right now the judge has discretion in a lot of these cases. And the judge can say, okay, I think that you should be remanded until your trial, or you're free to leave.
I believe in some cities, though, it's like unless you've done some enumerated thing, you get out automatically. There are like several that are like these you don't.
Yeah.
But everything else you do.
Because when
so is the premise if you're wealthier, you're less likely to commit crimes?
I think the premise is that if you put up money, you're more likely to return for your trial. And the more money that you put up, the more likely it is that you'll come back because you don't want to forfeit all that money that you've put down. But the problem is it does turn into a lot of people that are broke that have to stay in prison pending their trial, whereas if you have money, you're able to afford the bail, so then you're able to leave. So it kind of does punish people for being poor.
Keep in mind,
addition to, that basically what I'm saying is, yes, it punishes people for being poor, which has no relation to the crime that you're accused of, whereas somebody else that has more money is free to leave until their trial.
I only said violent crimes,
right, yeah.
Which I think is more than reasonable.
Yeah. I think that I think that the more, I don't know what that number is. Like I have a hard time thinking that somebody that
But when you have people who've been arrested 72 times lighting people on fire on the trains, you have to do something.
There has to be a way that person is somehow being rehabilitated.
Which it doesn't seem like is happening.
It doesn't sound like there's a lot. So I would be in favor of a system like that, Big T, if during the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times the person was arrested, there was also money that was spent rehabilitating them.
Sure. Yeah, I hope it never gets to anyone doing that.
Because right now it's like you go to prison and you go in prison and then you just get angry. And then you're released, you're broke, you can't get hired anywhere, and it makes you more likely, statistically, to commit another crime because you don't really have anything.
I want crime to go down. That is my goal.
Okay.
But when we are talking about people who have made it clear they have no intention of stopping doing crimes, I mean, then the solution we have now of just letting them out is not working.
So California had the 3 strikes you're out policy for a while, which is similar to what you're saying. It was it 3 felonies and then life sentence in jail?
I think so.
And they had that for a while. And what that ended up doing was it filled the prisons out there with nonviolent drug offenders. Which I don't think if you're a nonviolent drug offender, I don't think that you should be locked up for life. And in that circumstance, a lot of it was just people that had weed. And had weed repeatedly. Maybe sold weed.
This says serious or violent felonies. Were those considered a serious felony?
I think if you had enough weed, yeah.
Yeah, weed used to be a Schedule 1 drug, didn't it?
I think it might still be Schedule 1.
Is it really?
I think so.
God.
I don't think that they keep talking about reducing the schedule of it. I don't know if they have yet or not.
Right.
So that's the danger you run into when it comes to like serious felonies.
And by the way, that California law included the 3rd strike would trigger a 25 to life sentence, even if the 3rd felony was nonviolent, which I did not propose.
Okay.
So then you had people have petty theft, drug possession, and that would trigger that.
So the 3rd strike.
That would be your 3rd of 10 in my.
The strike zone got bigger.
I think those numbers are far too high, but I use that as an example.
I'm not opposed to it, but there would have to be some things built in there that actually makes it more likely that the people that are arrested their first, second time get out and they don't commit those crimes, as opposed to just like sending them back out there, waiting for them to offend again, and then locking them away as the plan.
Yeah, my goal is that doesn't happen.
I think if we spend a lot of money on job programs.
Whoa. Where's that money coming from?
From I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
I don't mean this to be contentious, but I do find it funny that in a hypothetical policy debate that you can propose anything, you put a patch on a hole in a glass rather than trying to fix the foundation of the glass. I think that's where we diametrically oppose each other. I think you try to stop leaks.
I don't think, because I know where you're going with this, and as I've said, we've talked about this.
That was my stay. I ain't going nowhere with that.
No, I know, but as we've talked about, like I am not opposed to the things you are proposing in this realm, in addition to making sure violent criminals aren't on the street. Like, are you vehemently opposed to what I said?
I think that is, out of all the things you said I disagree with, I think that is maybe the worst idea you've had.
Is there a number then?
No.
There's no number of violent crimes you can commit.
If I steal 75 candy bars, I don't deserve life in prison.
If you do it 10 times?
Life.
And get convicted 10 times?
You are high.
Well, this is a straw man argument, but if you've committed 10 separate
what do you mean? How does a straw man
larcenies?
You can use a bigger word if you want, but no, you're high. Life in prison? What? Again, I'm pro-life, dog. After birth.
Me too, but so what about? I think your
life in prison for 10 petty crimes is
okay. Fine, then take
that shit crazy.
Focus on the violent crimes, because that's what these people. There's nobody that's getting. These aren't. Focus on the violent crimes, because that's what these people are doing.
How are we defining violent?
Things that harm other people.
No, I don't think you should spend life in prison after 10 violent crimes. If you
10 violent crimes?
If I get in a fight 10 times at a club, no, I don't think.
I don't think that's not what we're talking about.
What are we talking about?
We're talking. I don't even think
when
that
you
would
deal
be
with social. When you deal with social issues, you're dealing with a litany of social interactions that can range from, docile to murder. Like there's a spectrum of things, and then you saying 10 crimes and you go to jail for the rest of your life, that is crazy to me. That is insanity.
10 separate convictions, but like you claim to have all this empathy. Why does your empathy stop for the people who are getting stabbed and lit on fire by people who've been arrested 60 times?
I do have empathy. I don't claim to have empathy. One, two.
But it never seems to extend to those people.
You're talking about rhetorical justice, and that it is proven that doesn't work. What does work is if you fix the problem at the base. I think either you think one or two things, that you think people are inherently violent and criminals, or do you think there's causes that drive people that way, or at least agitate those behaviors? I'm of the latter. I think that socioeconomic conditions drive those behaviors. I don't think people are inherently violent. I think sometimes that may be the case. The wiring is what the wiring is. But I think the majority of these cases, it's a product of environment that has been a policy failure over decades. And so to me, the fix isn't send somebody stealing 10 times or send somebody got in a fight 10 times in jail for the rest of their life. To me, that's you putting a Band-Aid over a gaping wound.
But you can fix the things you want to fix simultaneously.
No, you can't.
Why not?
I said because in a hypothetical debate that we are running on our platform, you chose to focus on putting a Band-Aid over a gaping wound rather than,
as I've told you, I'm not opposed
but this is what I'm saying. That's your focus. Your focus is not.
My focus in the immediate, yes, is getting violent people off the street. That is true.
I agree, but even in the hypothetical, it's always interesting to me that you say you don't have empathy for the victims. I do. But what can we do that could bring back somebody that's murdered? Can't do it.
We could try to prevent it in the future.
And how do we do that?
I'm trying to the solutions you're proposing, which again, for the 5th time, I am not opposed to.
Why wouldn't that be your?
Because I'll answer that question. Let me answer that question. Because those will take effect in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Those are grassroots efforts that you're hoping to help people in the future. We have people out there right now who have been arrested 70 times that are going out there and committing violent crimes on completely innocent people. I would like that to stop now, and we can try to fix everything else going forward.
I hear you.
Why is that unreasonable?
I don't think it's well, sending somebody to jail for life for stealing 10 times is absolutely unreasonable. One. Two, I think it's unreasonable to go at it that way. Like I think fixing the foundation is much more rational than continually having a police state that is constantly putting fear in the hearts and the minds of its citizens.
Can I ask then what should be done with people like that? Like you just keep letting them out?
It is widely studied that if you give people food, if you give people clothing, if you give people a house, if you give people leisure activities and good infrastructure, that crime drops dramatically. So that is.
I agree with that generally.
That's
specifically. Specifically, let's talk about the guy who stabbed the woman on the train and lit the woman on the train on fire. You think
let's talk about those.
Well, those have been in the news recently. You think those two people specifically, given those parameters you just mentioned, would not have done those things?
If we gave them those things in their early life, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the percentage and the percentage of them committing those acts drops dramatically. Absolutely, yeah.
So do you think there are any people out there for whom that is not the case? That they're just crazy and there's nothing that can be done about it?
No, I started that with that. I said the wiring is what the wiring is for the most part, but we are byproducts of two things. This is why we have our disagreements about free will. Your environment that you're raised in and the genetics that you are predisposed to. Those two things are the makeup of who we are. And sometimes the wiring is just off. It is what it is. But you can compensate for a lot of those misfirings in the brain if you nourish the environment in which people are grown up in. That is not even an opinion.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah. It's fascinating to me that we just focus. Yeah, whatever. It's cool.
Focus on both.
If you could give me a conservative politician that does focus on building infrastructure and mental health care for communities, I'll vote for that. I promise you I will. But they don't.
This is my platform. This isn't anybody else.
All right.
But
I'll vote for Big T if he does.
You can understand the frustration of living in a city in America where like these policies have, not mine, the opposite, have gone into effect and it's resulting in like terrible things happening to innocent people.
I think if you have a myopic view of the world that you live in, yes, these instances bother you. But if you look at yourself as the broader extension of the human family, you see that crime is genuinely decreasing.
That is true. But that I don't see why that would necessitate like not
because we've done because that's why he brought up the 3 strikes rule. Shit like stop and frisk, right? Stuff like that. Over policing and overdoing it and more policing doesn't mean safer streets.
Well, that stop and frisk is unconstitutional. That's a completely separate issue. This isn't over policing generally indicates like you're putting way more cops in an area you're doing that. These are just people who have committed crimes. You've been convicted of them. Like, what are we to do with you? Repeatedly.
Your answer is life.
I don't know, dude. It's not be able to
Wild.
go out there and kill people after you've been arrested 70 times. I
But
find that to be abhorrent.
There's a reason why our recidivism rate is so high in this country. Our recidivism rate is high is because when we incarcerate, we don't incarcerate to rehabilitate. Like people scoff, like, and I hate to lump you in as a conservative, but conservatives scoff at like programs for prisoners and like libraries for prisoners and things to help them get back on their feet, because a lot of the times, and this is not you, but a lot of people don't view criminals as human. They look at them as inhumane animals, and our president has said so. And when you look at people like that, you treat them like that. And when you treat people like that, they act like that. And so, the empathy that you say sarcastically I have would go towards that. So if you have a repeat offender that constantly goes to prison, well, he's going to a prison where he has to constantly defend himself from gangs and violence. And you know you're not gonna come out any better.
I think I found our core where we differ, because I am 100% in favor of everything you said. I want people to go. I love the stories of people who find Jesus in prison. I hope they come out and they live a productive life and are able to do all of that. I think there are probably more people than you do for whom that just isn't in the cards, and they're just kind of crazy and they're going to do crazy shit, and like we have to do something about that.
So there's, yeah, I don't know, man. I disagree, but
no, but I think that's where, like, all the things you said, like libraries in prison, I think that's great. I want people to like do whatever they can if they want to better their life when they get out. Like, I think that's awesome. I think you and I just differ on the number of people who are just kind of nuts and are going to do crazy shit.
I think we will never know, though, if we don't give them that opportunity. And what you're proposing is lock them up and throw away the key after 10 times. I mean,
10 times, though. 10.
That sounds crazy to me. That sounds like.
Is there a number? 1,000?
That's how I look at like North Korea, though. Like that's how you sound right to me right now. That's crazy.
1,000? 1,000. Can we agree on 1,000? You get arrested 1,000 times.
If you commit a crime, you suffer the consequences of committing that crime. I don't think you add addendums to the amount or the quantity of.
Well, to be clear, that's actually a good point. I think there are in the places where a lot of this is happening, I think the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth crimes aren't really being punished the way they should either. And they just get let out and nothing happens. I think that's the majority of the problem, actually.
I think you're online too much, honestly. I just gotta log off.
That's certainly true, but
yeah. Because in order to propose something like this, I would say the only way that justifies it is if like the murder rate increased 3,000% and a litany of other issues are happening to where I can even think we could justify something.
I
like
actually think you're kind of making my point. This is not a lot of people that we're talking about, or at least it shouldn't be.
But under your hammer, your gavel, a lot of good people that just can't get right through whatever reasons are going to go to jail for the rest of their life. A lot of them. And I'm just against that.
I think there would obviously be ways around what you're talking about. I think this is for
the bad guys.
Yes. Are people who have repeatedly demonstrated that they have no intention of following the rules of society.
I would say good luck parsing out who is the good and who's the bad guy.
I mean, we do that now.
Agreed.
That's why we get
our prison population so big.
That's why we get Palantir to come in, and they just watch us all the time.
Who's that?
They got the kill chain going. The
AI Palantir.
The AI data company. Peter Thiel's company.
Oh.
Mass surveillance company.
I read a book a while ago about like this Scythe. It's a really good. It's like a little teeny bopper book, but it's really dope. It has a bunch of series. It's the Thunderbolt, the eye in the sky that knew everything.
Yeah, pre-crime.
Fascinating. Yeah. Yep. Pre-crime.
Okay. Well, hey, good debates, good platforms. There's been some news that just broke while we were talking about this. Arian, just wants your take on it.
Let's do it.
I guess Giannis wants out.
Of Milwaukee.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Where he talking about?
He wanted to go to New York this offseason.
Ooh.
I don't know if he's still. What I took away from it is the Washington Wizards finally broke Giannis. That was the last straw. Losing to the Wizards was like, Giannis is like, I have to move.
I mean, he deserves it. This is why he deserves it. He deserves being a Brewers fan. It's a small market, and they're gonna, you know, I think
the Brewers fans are gonna hate you for this take.
They're gonna be crushed. It is what it is, right? But I think that he deserves a big market. He is one of the best NBA players in his generation.
Yeah.
And he deserves a big market and a bigger eye with more eyes on him. It just is what it is. Like, it's a small market. Trust me, I'm a Brewer fan, dog. I know
they're gonna hate you for this, Arian.
Hey, this is my fate with Jackson Terrio. Eventually, I know he's gonna walk. I think we got it for like 10 years.
Well, you're not a Bucks fan. You're a Brewers fan.
I'm just, I can empathize with the Bucks. Yeah, with the Bucks feeling like it because they from Milwaukee. Like, I understand that, you know, if we get like a real like deal, like if Jackson Terrio keep climbing the ranks, he Dodgers might swoop him. Like, I get it. I understand it. You know, it's a business at the end of the day. Now, if Giannis comes to the Lakers, you ain't gonna hear the end from me.
Does that work?
Hype.
Does that work?
You make it work.
There's just one ball.
Well, okay, so this is the problem I had with Luka, and I get fried for this take all the time. But we gonna see who's right at the end of his career. I hope he does well for us. But I feel like if you give him another like real offensive threat, like maybe he's a little less ball dominant, that could work.
Okay,
could work. Yeah.
What about the Knicks?
I always say I love it when the Knicks are great. Like, I think it makes basketball better.
Mm-hmm.
When the Lakers are good, the Celtics are good, and the Knicks are good. To me, that I love. It's just like, it's like my college football take. Like, when Florida's good, when, you know what I'm saying, when USC's good, when certain teams are good, it just feels better. And that could be it is my bias.
I'm just gonna throw a couple other teams out at you.
Shoot.
Top of my head. Miami always finds himself in the discussion. They always do.
I don't care for it. I think that's just because it's a great destination for free agents.
Yeah. Pat Riley.
Yeah.
The closer. Okay. Out west, how do we feel about the Timberwolves?
For him to go to Milwaukee to Minnesota would be pointless.
Well, you just want him to go. You're rooting for a market.
I want him to have a big stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want him to. Like,
I'm talking
Giannis and Gordon.
Basketball sense.
Knicks got a squad too. Brunson.
Yeah.
They got some pieces.
What about the Clippers? What are the Clippers doing?
I never know what the Clippers are doing.
They just I almost said they fired Chris Paul. They fired Chris Paul last night.
They got rid of him?
Yeah, during his farewell tour. They said, you're fired.
That's kind of fucked up. But I mean, Kobe ruined everybody with that because everybody think they're going to get a farewell. And there's only like 2 players right now that I think will. No. Yeah. Steph going to get one and Bron going to get one.
Yeah. You know, I could see the Suns making an offer too. I have no idea how the cap works in basketball. Just disclaimer, I'm talking about just strictly from a vibe of the owner standpoint. He's the guy that like bought the team, tried to go all in making like a fantasy basketball team, realized that didn't work, said that he realized the error of his ways, took a step back for a second. Now he's kind of back in the mix. This would be that exact same thing again.
What about Houston?
One ball.
Kevin Durant does amazing with his efficiency. I don't think he needs it a lot, and he's on the latter part of his career. I like Houston for him if he's trying to win now.
You know what? Fuck it. Just send them to Oklahoma City. Have them win
I
the
hate
next
that.
10 titles.
See, I hate how he plays too, though. What's his name?
Who?
The
SGA?
main dude. Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
His name.
Uh,
That's not like how he plays.
all right. Well, that was Macrodosing for today. We will see you guys next Tuesday. And can't wait to be back. And we got some just schedule stuff coming up for the Christmas break. Are we doing the War on Christmas? I feel like the War on Christmas hasn't had as much buzz recently.
We're taking it
'cause-
back.
Because it's back, baby.
So it looks like we're going to have a show for you guys on Tuesday the 23rd. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Tuesday the 23rd, there will be a macrodosing. On Christmas Day, there will be no macrodosing
No.
in appreciation, reverence for Jesus and Santa.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the 30th, there will be
Best of.
best of.
Yep.
New Year's Day, there will be no macrodosing in appreciation of hangovers
Right.
And college football.
and college football. And then we'll be back
It's regular programming.
January 6th. We're coming back.
Whoa.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, let's get it. All right.
We did that shit on purpose, baby.
Love you guys.